Dun, 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 dun.
By your command.
Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Getting Down with Dave C. And we have a special night tonight. But before I get into that, welcome JT Kirk.
Hey, Dave, and hello to the chat.
Hello,
Great
hello,
to be
everyone.
here. This
Yes.
is mainly because this is the last week we have to go through this non-Kirby comic book.
Non-Kirby comic book. And I will give a spoiler alert. It's, to me, maybe I was just in a good mood. Maybe because I thought to myself, other than one or two issues, this is still a pretty good run. We were hard on one of those issues, but to me, it was deservedly so. I just call it as I see it because I've made a claim several times that I love this run. Right? I rebought it. I rebought it. And I missed out on the whole Jungle Action thing on that auction site I showed you, JT, by the way. Again.
Really?
Again.
Oh, man.
This one didn't have number 5, though. It had, I think, number 6 through the full run. But they were in, near mint condition.
Oh, geez.
Or in very fine.
Very fine can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, I've discovered.
Well, that particular site, that's neat stuff, collectibles. I might even screw it. It's last issue. Let me show it for everybody. How about that?
All right. I'm not opposed.
I got to back out on this one, though. It's called.
Should we do it after the show? If we,
I'll do it sometime or another. Yeah, Lady V, hello.
Hey, Lady V.
Hail to you for stopping.
Hope you're doing well.
Hello. Estrogen glitter. I'll take it.
Is there any other kind? Maybe I don't want to know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny.
We get ourselves in trouble if we think about it too much. So I just won't.
Yeah. So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So the last time, the one before that, they had the original number 5 through the end. And they were in okay condition, pretty good condition.
Sure. But
that site is pretty, it's good. I've ordered from them in the past, and they're pretty spot on with their judgments. Although, I think like an Amazing Spider-Man runs that I've shown on the Geekery a couple times, those combined runs, the one I showed you went for over $6,000.
Wow.
Just the one set.
Not all of them. It was just that one section.
Just the one section of Amazing Spider-Man went for $6,000. It was 5 something plus, and I didn't even. It was like 3 or 4 days left over. I didn't even follow it. It went over 6. I'm sure. If it didn't, it was close. The one I wanted was almost $3,000. That was and then 300 to 400, I think, went almost under $2,000, close to it, or maybe even more because it actually had. It didn't have 300, but that first one had number 50 in it. Remember, we were talking about key issues.
Yeah, the key issue.
Key issues are what gets you. But they had another run where it had 101 and the Punisher one, and they had both of those in that run. That went for numerous grands. That one too. So you could have gotten, how far down was it? 23, 34 of the original Amazing Spider-Man to 700. You have to bid on all the different blocks of them, but one block in itself went for way over $5,000. I think over 6. And then the one I wanted went for 2 plus, almost 3.
Sure.
And then the other ones, kind of went down. But the 200 to 300, several grand, 300 to 400, I know went for several grand. And so my prediction was around $10,000, and I shorted it. That was short. And that's not getting, well, that would have been all the way to 700. I wouldn't have wanted 700, 400 to 700. And I already have 190 something to 299, but I don't have 300. This damn thing's expensive.
Well, at a certain point, you got to think, do I even have the physical space for all this? Because I don't think you really want to put it in a storage unit or anything like that, right?
No,
Because then you're going to ruin them.
Immediately put into new, well, unless they have really good bag and boards.
Yeah.
Especially the 34 to 2, well, all of them. I put mine immediately into new bag and boards. And in the long box, they have some nice, really waterproof, nice boxes that you could get, but they stay fairly well as long as you change them out every decade or something. Or some people like to go 6, 7 years.
Still, I mean, you have to have a storage unit or an extra room in your living space to start storing
I got
hundreds
the space.
of comics, man.
I got the space, didn't have the money.
Well, not all of us live in an estate, with maids and all the rest, Dave. You got to think about that too.
Yeah. I have some stuff I want to unload, and some I just don't want to unload, right? But anyway, here we are. Number 15, the last of this run, 1979. And I like that little perch in there. I don't think we talked about that in a while. The little icon up there, Marvel Comics Group with him on the branch. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I'm not going to spin back all the way up there because I'll screw that up. That's not bad. And we get a good fight scene here with all kinds of plasma stuff and Vision and Beast laying down here. I won't say much about that, but we'll talk about that later.
Cover. Looks like we're back in New York City again, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we haven't left. We haven't left NYC since last issue.
Who's this one strangling him? Claw?
That's Claw. That's the Claw. So it's a spoiler alert, but hey, we got to get into the comic anyway. So the last time we saw this, now I'll spin back, was, remember the guy here in the pink shirt was just this kind of a nerdy guy. He's very, very smart. Apparently so smart he could take apart the sonic gun and put it on a keyboard and then attach it to a bicycle.
Yeah.
But the cool thing, hey, FKC 2005, welcome to the last issue here. Let me give you a good old hail. Wait for the coffee to kick in.
This is all coming back to me now. How much I
Oh, and by the way, have you read this, JT?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I read last week's with you here, and that was quite entertaining with the Great Admiral Teague. But
yes, it was.
I am looking slightly ahead to page 2, and I remember the Abomination.
Yeah, and now this Abomination isn't all that bad. I like the wings and the claws, the elephant head. I mean, go for it,
Okay.
It's a big bruiser type beast. It's huge, right?
Huge.
But the claw, apparently, this was all a subterfuge to get into the mind of the guy in the pink. Herbie's the guy who always likes to shoot people. This guy,
the love bug,
the Warriors guy,
the love bug, yeah,
Herbie the yellow band. He's the guy from the movie Warriors, but they never used guns. He does. The guy in pink was the nerdy guy they were slapping around, and apparently he's now possessed by the claw, because the claw is nothing but sound.
Mm-hmm.
And just to recap, I wanted to definitely recap this because don't pardon the pun, it was on purpose. Cap shows up. That's the Cap. I don't know what that means. What does that mean when people say that? Anyway, it's a
Cap,
some string line,
or it's Cap.
It's Cap.
It's
some
Cap.
Lingo?
Like crazy, nuts, insane.
Is that what it
mad,
means? That's what it means.
Mad. No cap is like no cap is like
no filter.
No, it means like I'm not fooling you. Like you serious? No Joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie tomorrow night is the Blues Brothers. We're going.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, the Blues Brothers. And really quick, I tried to download. I've got a couple that I wanted to, but my old beat up little LG thing, which is done fairly well, and my software is just so weird. Like I downloaded a couple, they worked. Blues Brothers was one.
Yep.
Crystal, we might be doing that next week, or the Kung Fu Theater. I kind of wanted to do the Kung Fu Theater. Well, I was talking to Buddy Hepburn about that in FKHC last week, somewhere along the line, and but the Blues Brothers one, it worked. But then I wanted to do Conan the Barbarian, dude. I felt like watching some Conan.
Oh, jeez.
And
like a guilty pleasure kind of thing, isn't it?
It downloaded, but it only downloaded and it cut off the last 5 minutes. Luckily, I checked it and didn't play it because I was like, oh, it worked. Then I did a movie called Shakes the Clown.
Okay.
It's got Bobcat Goldthwait. It's an R. It's a rated R. It's brutal. But it has a cameo from Mrs. Brady from the Brady Bunch. It's definitely not for kids, this movie, dude. And the damn thing kept downloading in Spanish without subtitles. And then I tried to do, what was The Princess Bride? Because God, that's a classic. And it kept doing it in French.
Oh, no.
So, Tim, when I'm telling you, man, I have a hell of a lot of problems with trying to download. I've got a whole stack of movies that we could do. And this is what I deal with. So no Conan, no Princess Bride, unless I go back and it works. And Shakes the Clown, I might get to try to get Nick to do that on Toxic Tuesday. It's so
that'd be hilarious.
It's so freaking toxic, dude. That and the Ice Pirates, right?
Oh yeah, the Ice Pirates, yeah.
With one of the, because you know it's Toxic Tuesday, and there's a lot of scenes. I don't want to spoil alert. You know the one where the gelding scene. You know what I mean? If you remember, weren't you on that watch party with that last year?
Ice Pirates. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you know the scene I'm talking about where they almost all get clipped.
Yes.
I mean, what's more toxic than that, dude?
Well,
Grandma's Boy, that was fantastic last night. That was hilarious.
Yes, it was.
And
to say they've watched more toxic than that, but you really have to search down deep for it.
Well, Shakes the Clown. Shakes the Clown is toxic. And Team America World Police, the unedited director's cut, which is pretty brutal.
You can't even like talk about it on YouTube.
You can't even. You can't even. You have to skip through those parts.
Those parts being like the entire movie.
Well, the difference between that and the regular cut is galaxies away. Dude, it's so brutal. The marionette sex scene.
Yeah,
just in itself is bad, but the uncut version is.
So you're even talking about it more than I would. That's the thing.
It's a sex scene. We had him on the Swan Show. Well, anyway, here we go. So this big elephant griffin thing, but I like the claws, right? No pun intended. Sound elephant. There.
Yeah.
The artwork for the claws isn't too bad. But this thing is going after. So Cap America shows up to help out Black Panther, but Black Panther was actually. Never mind, I'm getting my issues mixed up. Anyway, Black Panther and Cap are fighting this thing now. Right? And I like Cap's uniform, dude. We've talked about this last week. Kirby drew it well, and this dude here draws it fairly well too, right?
Well, yeah. That's probably because whoever's drawn this, it draws Captain America a bunch. And that was part of the issue is we think they brought in the Avengers, not because they had no experience drawing the Black Panther because Kirby was the only one really to do it, right? So they're like, well, yeah, but we can draw the Avengers, so let's just bring all them in so we don't have to draw T'Challa as much.
Yeah,
You notice he like never takes his mask off anymore. Yeah,
not really. And if he does, it's not the same guy.
So, yeah, sometimes they don't draw
the
face
totally
even on the
face.
mask. Sometimes they don't even draw the face on the mask. Like the shadows definitely look copied and repurposed. We even had a thought that Buddy Hepburn brought up last week that maybe this was like a comic in the drawer, and when you really need a comic for something and you just don't have one, right, and it's go time, you have a spot for the main character that you could just draw in, and it's like a generic enough story that it'll just work with a different property. So, inhale the Buddy.
Yeah. Hey there, and right on cue. There's your ears exactly burning, buddy.
So I mean, there was a lot wrong with last week, and this is a sound generated piece of mass. That's an elephant that is also like a T-Rex.
Yeah. Tim's comment. Did you see Tim's comment about ice pirates? That's what's got me messed up. Yeah. That's great, dude. Sorry, man, that distracted me for a second because you had me laughing.
You're all good.
I leaned over and saw that because well, nobody else is coming. The way I position this so I can scroll this blocks my comments because I like to see us with the when you talk and when I talk, I can see the speech bubble, the ring, the speech ring.
Yeah.
And so it blocks a lot of the comments. So I kind of, well, you know how I do. I've got the other laptop sitting there.
Right.
Anyhow. Yeah, JT, you're absolutely correct on some of that. I mean, most of it really. And the, I mean, it's just different people. So we get a different look, period. That's all there is to it. I like the look. There's nothing wrong with it for the most part. But I do think there was some copy and paste, right? But that's what they do a lot of times anyway. We've seen this in comic books. Clobbering Times, our dear friend, Clobbering Times, Mike.
Yep.
Shout out to him, as always. He could point out every now and then, and it's kind of subtle sometimes, unless if you don't watch the show, you'll miss it. If you watched it all the time, like his spinner rack back in the day.
Yes.
When his buddy Mark was there, I kind of missed that show when I first started coming on. You'll see, like, you see how this pose that Captain America has here?
Yes.
You might see that down the line, a long time, maybe another issue or a whole nother series. And every now and then, Clobbering Times would point that out. Not very often, because I don't think they do it very often, or the readers would know. Right? They have to come up with new poses, but every now and then they do cut and paste. But what I do like about continuity is these artists will do the swishes, the action swishes that we call it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Kirby was great with that, and we get lots of shards.
With a D, not a T. Yes.
Yes. With a D. Shards.
Yeah.
So good artists will do stuff like that. Kirby was excellent with his shard work.
Look, it's not like it's horrible art. It's just that it's not very brave either. It's kind of cowardly art, if you know
background, the background, the wall. We'll just call it the background wall. And we're not nitpicking, guys. It's just stuff we see. We'll nitpick. When we nitpick.
Yeah.
Like, what did we go off? I already kind of forgot about it. What did we nitpick a lot about last week? I already forgot because
we found in one shot there was an extra finger.
Oh yeah. It was extra finger. That was just. I mean, it was right in the middle of the page. You couldn't avoid it. And then we made Princess Bride jokes, so it was fun, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we had fun with it.
The New York skyline had a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah. They're not big. They're not big on background walls. As you can tell here, it's just it's just this pale yellow,
Mhm.
right? And back here it's just some green building. So it's just all on what they want to do. I won't bash them for it. It's just something we noticed, right?
Yes.
I mean, Kirby, when he wanted to, was excellent with that background detail. I brought it up all the time, especially plants, right? He always helped, like BSG always monitored, but I was always caught on looking for a good plant that he would put in there, a green plant, right?
Yeah.
Everybody here knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pants equals panels. Yes, buddy. There are UK specific comics. And we're going to spend some time on this comic. Might drag it out a little bit and have fun with it, JT. It's the last one, so might as well, right?
Yep.
Let's see.
So they have the narrator in a slightly darker, so it's orange instead of yellow.
Yeah.
If the Panther were to reply, the answer would seem unbelievable. Well, yeah, I don't believe it either. It's so unbelievable that you haven't convinced your audience. Okay.
I will spoiler. Yeah, there's one part later on that's wow, it's really hardcore tech science fiction. I'm not science fiction, science-y. I know that's not the right word, guys. Don't come at me. But Buddy had a really, really good comment in the chat. Go check it out. I could highlight it, but it just jacks me up here. So I'll read it. Screw it. There are UK specific comics that were draw overs where they drew over the characters over the prior ones. Okay, so they drew over with a new storyline inserted. Yeah. That's that's an excellent description of what. Thank you for that. But the overall pants and placement is the same here. Oh, so he's caught on too, right? The overall stuff. But good artists, they pay attention. Like Cap is pretty muscular here. Like he's got good leg work. He doesn't skip leg day over here on the right panel. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like it when artists pay attention when they can, because we've always discussed that sometimes when we something bad, it could be, hey, maybe they ate something, maybe they ate a bad burrito or something, or they were just under time constraints, or who knows? We just don't know these things, right? I would love to go back into the drawing room with these guys. Oh man, that would be so cool, right? Just to be able to sit there and watch them work and then ask them questions. Hey man, now 50 years in the future, JT and I and Buddy and FK, we're all sitting here talking, Phantom and Gavin and everybody, and Lady V stopped by and said hello. We are just kind of wondering, how cool would that be if you could do something like that, right?
Right.
But they come up with the idea here, and I'm going really slow so you can read it as well, right, JT?
Oh yeah, no, I have my own copy this week, so I'm a little bit further. Yeah.
I wondered how you said you got to 2, because you did say you got your website back.
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody, we don't have an announcement for next week because we ran into some severe tech issues, and we have a lot of alternatives, but we'll announce, or I will announce on my channel or somewhere along the line, hopefully by Sunday or Monday, what we're going to do Wednesday. We might even skip a week. I have an idea for something. Maybe just a comics talk show about stuff.
Sure.
But we'll see. Anywho, Cap throws the shield at him because that's what he would do, right?
Yep.
And he realizes that is it T'Challa realizes it did kind of some damage.
It let him go.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let
BP go.
Oh, that's right.
So this stupid Griffin elephant thing is solidified sound, whatever the hell that is,
and it can manifest power like a poltergeist because it can physically manipulate
it and instill an animal consciousness as well.
Well, that's Claw. That's Claw doing that.
Yeah.
So Claw's controlling it. So you're right. It's not acting on its own. I'll give them that. But yeah, you're right. It's a little confusing because the bullet went through Claw before, right? But they will talk about that. They'll come back to that.
Hail to Bellow Triggerfish. Haven't seen in a while, sir.
Hey, oh my
you even
gosh.
dropped in.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. I think we played some Fortnite a couple weeks ago. It's been a while. I don't play much. I don't play too much. Maybe tonight. I'm feeling kind of good. It's probably that coffee kicking in, JT.
Oh yeah, mine too. Don't you worry.
Hell, Bello,
So,
man, thank you for coming in. Quick recap for him, real quick.
Sure, go
We're
for
doing this is issue 15, Black Panther 79, the Kirby run up until like 13. So this is the last issue of this run, and we will talk about what we're going to be doing next week. So that's all I can really tell you this without going into too much detail. But thanks for being here. Sorry, JT. Just wanted to say that.
So one of the things I can't get over is this solidified sound, and the sonic weapon that can do all this is just dumb. So what does a metal shield being thrown at it have to do with, price of eggs? It just does not. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't click
like
for
there's
us
no.
now. I'll go. All I can say about that is just this comics. And you got to go with it. I'll go with
the problem with like there's other times where I would be fine with something like that, right? But the issue is, to me, you have no like structure or no limits on your story in your environment, right? So pretty much you can do whatever you want because there's no rules to this beast. So why would there need to be any rules for Cap, right? Like the plot will just be necessarily convenient because I like every work of fiction you have to suspend disbelief.
Sure,
right?
Especially in the comics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially in comics. I mean, flying
sometimes,
characters and all this. Like, okay, I get it, but like, no matter what story you're telling, whether it be Star Trek or Lord of the Rings, has rules for the universe and the sandbox that you play in. And
and
here,
you got to remember also, and I know you do. I just say that out of context with you because I know you're smart with this stuff, right? Because you're not wrong. I would have barely even been 10 when this comic came out. And everybody kind of knows how old I am anyway, right? Well, there you go. Now you don't. So I was born in 69. What I found even more interesting, and just for interesting sake, because I don't know the deep lore, because they actually bring up another Fantastic Four comic here, and Buddy and some of those other people, maybe even Bella. I don't know how much comics you know, Bella. I think a lot. You're in good company in that chat. I can tell you that, especially if we talk about Godzilla, because I always get corrected. Anyway, I'm going to divert here. Sorry. Black Panther says something very interesting, and I wonder if you caught it. Not because I don't even catch a lot of the things in these things. It's the lore of Black Panther. That's one of the things that comic book aficionados always will not tolerate, is if you break lore, right?
Right.
And if that's the problem with today's stuff, and we're not going to get into that, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? They do it on purpose.
Yep.
When it's a continuity error, we know it's a continuity error.
I can forgive those more than the intentional. BS,
So if Nick or Mark or Cobby was here, he could definitely tell us what Black Panther says here, because what we've talked about in this series is that Black Panther number one was introduced in Fantastic Four 52, right? If I got the number correct. Don't excruciate me because I just said lore. Right? 52, 53. Yeah. And they bring it up here again on a different issue. And he says that whatever metal Cap's shield is made of, it seems to possess some of the properties of vibranium. And I've got a quiz for the chat. Wouldn't he have already known that as being part of the original Avengers back then? Not the original Avengers, because Beast, by the way, covered that last week or last week. Why Beast was hanging out. He was part of those Avenger crew early on, JT, just so you know.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure, because remember, like, what's Beast doing hanging around? I was like, oh, wait, I think that he hung out with them back in the day, and he did.
All right.
But I was a little, maybe the chat could help out with this, because I was a little, I found it interesting that they made it sound like Cap didn't know. I mean, Black Panther didn't know what Cap's shield was made of. And I was like, what the hell? Or what is one of the characters says in here, HE double hockey sticks. He actually says that. It's a literal quote. Yeah, non-canon headcanon from Buddy. The vibranium. Yeah. Okay, let's see what Buddy says here. The vibranium in the shield should disrupt the sound frequencies of the solidification magic. Yeah. It does just a little bit. And this is what Black Panther's talking about. So I'm going into deep lore here, and I don't have an answer for this, JT. Mm-hmm. Right? I'll tell you what I think should be the answer is that if you're going to reference Fantastic Four when he originally came into the Avengers universe, then I would have thought somewhere along the line, especially because where's the only place vibranium is available?
Wakanda,
JT.
Right?
Wakanda. Thank you. That's a good answer. You see what I'm getting at here, right?
Yes.
So let's move on. I don't want to harp on that. It was just a thing for if anybody in the chat knew why they would say that he just now kind of knew that, I would have like, no. I'm going against that one. But anyway, there's a good, they're fighting. So Panther, with his newfound knowledge, JT, he's got the shield. And instead of throwing it right at the guy, he does something pretty smart here. Whether it's a suspension of disbelief or not scientifically straight, right? At least the character, they show that the character is thinking.
So Black Panther is throwing Cap's shield.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of a no-no?
He doesn't throw it at the monster. Look what he throws it at, this big old pipe. I mean, this big old not pipe, sorry.
Giggity.
Big old phrasing. Come on, it's the Archer. You got the South. I mean, you got the Family Guy, so that was good phrasing. But good one, JT. You got me cracked up now, dude. Like my eyes are watering, man. I'm old. Giggity.
It's been a long day, but we're both on the coffee now, so anything goes. Right?
Yeah, I'm starting to sweat, man. I got the AC on and the fan. But anyway, he throws it at this beam, right? The metal beam.
Yes.
And it makes a whang sound. Wow. They say sprang. I would go with wow.
Okay.
Because he had the idea what Panther already knows, and what Cap is finding out is that it's sound. So he thinks that maybe some kind of sound waves are gonna hit it, but it's a double whammy. It hits the beam and then it hits the guy as well, or hits the monster as well.
It's really too bad that they that the Beastie Boys aren't a thing yet, because then they could just play one of their songs, like in New Trek movie number 3. Yeah.
Oh, God, it was Sabotage, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Wasn't it Sabotage they played?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Cheap fucks.
Hey,
are we talking about the one where he's riding around on the motorcycle and shit?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let's not get into that. and RIP to God,
Anson.
No,
Mount?
young man. What's this young man's name who played Chekhov?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Sorry, that's bad. I can't remember his name. I do, but I don't want to say wrong.
But no, it is a motorcycle. It is sound. It's like a lot of things overlap there.
Yeah, and it works. So it drops Cap, and he makes a comment here that the sound waves from my shield disrupted the thing's structure. The Panther's a genius. And that's only because Cap didn't know what the hell's going on here. He just came to help out because he's a good guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like worried about, and he gets into the all morality issue here. Felt all over the Upper West Side. Yeah. What about the tenants in the building? So you got to get your morality clause in, right, JT?
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, man, you weren't worried about that a minute ago until Black Panther just saved your ass, right? And they cover it. There are none. So there you go. You ain't got to worry about that. That's good.
There aren't any, save for the youths. Hello, fellow youths. That he was tracking, and if he's correct, they're now on their way to find the Claw.
Yes, Anton Yelchin. Oh, sad, very sad. Yes, the youths. And then, so now Cap doesn't. So Cap is, I thought, wasn't the body of Claw is at the Avengers Mansion? Is he not? Remember?
I think so. Yeah, they were studying him like a lab rat, right?
Well, they were holding him to send back to Wakanda because T'Challa wanted to try him for the murder of his father.
Yeah.
Wow, I got that out. Yes, nice. And so, am I missing something here? That Cap seems like he doesn't understand that he seems surprised because Claw is there, because I know he's the master of sound, but he's also comatose. Those kids stole his sound weapon. So, but again, Cap knows all about Claw. Remember that?
What Cap says here does not really
match.
Talk to what Black Panther says here.
Well, a couple of issues ago, Cap even brought it up to T'Challa that he knows. Remember when he says, "Well, you guys go way back." Remember?
Yep.
Because once again,
I remember. Pepperidge Farms remembers too. But
yes, hashtag Utes. No, it's brilliant. I don't know, man. It's just little things like that you catch on to, right? They're like, well, wait, Cap knows all about Claw already. So maybe he's surprised that this is Claw now because of what I had just said, JT, that he is at the mansion, but Cap is not unaware of Claw's abilities with the sound and all this. And Cap's a smart guy. So he seems but he's also comatose. Those kids stole his sound weapon, so he doesn't understand what's going on. So that part I do get. Right. So I guess I'm getting that might be a little nitpicky on my part there, but Cap already knows all about Claw. Claw has been around for a long time in the Avengers universe. Remember that, right?
Yes.
Right. So Cap is not unfamiliar with this dude at all. So let's move on. But Panther does say, and he planned it that way. That was interesting. He planned it? Claw planned it? So it's either a way to get out of this plot, or they planned it ahead of time. I think they just planned it now, the writers and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a little talk here. I don't know. It kind of goes about what you were saying before.
This is walls of text.
Yeah. So they brought it up, or Panther brought it up. So now they have to kind of explain what he's talking about here, that for some reason Claw used his sonic boom arm, because that's part of his arm, right? That's actually his hand.
Yeah.
Okay. And he used it on purpose, but he didn't exactly know that these guys, the Thunderbolts, by the way.
Yeah. The Claw's body is composed of a solid sound like the creature we fought, so it's stupid. In other words, in a way, he's a stupid product of his own stupid weapon. But no sound can sustain itself indefinitely because it's energy and goes in all directions. And my theory is that Claw has been steadily fading, both in power and in actual presence. Okay, nice out there theory, genius deduction there with how did he help from anything else. That's why Claw schemed to have his Sonic Claw weapon fall into the hands of a group of vicious young thugs, the Thunderbolts. Why?
Yeah, I don't.
Why?
I don't.
This
I don't think
this
Claw's...
weakness. So I have a weakness. So I'm going to have some 8D underwater chess plan to get stunned, but then have these miscreants find it.
Well, they'll bring it up.
This is this is beyond like
so we get the motorbike.
This is beyond way too convenient.
Well, they're rampaging through the city on his new wave synthesizer motorbike.
Yeah,
just wrecking it. Dun-dun, and there's no popo around, no police, so that will just suspend that. So the Thunderbolts, they're just going
Let's
around.
get NYPD's week off this week. The entire force takes a break all at the same time.
Yeah. Listen, all y'all, this is Sam. We better not sing, right? They'll get me.
Will they? Who knows?
You never know. It depends. It could be a DISNEY song, and you just never know. I'll tell you what happened on my little Muppets video.
Yeah.
That I put out a nice little Muppet Treasure Island
you did put up video for the show. Yeah.
I left some stuff out for 2 reasons, but that's for a later date time. So the current possessor of the weapon is a boy named Jack. That's the guy in the pink shirt, the nerd who's now possessed by Claw, right? And there's Claw's body, right? As we were talking about, right?
Yep.
So Cap knew that they were bringing there, but he didn't know that Claw had took over that kid. So I'll backtrack on that little one part there, but not about the vibranium part. T'Challa would have already known that. Anyway. And so Panther, apparently they don't tell us that the yellow boxes, you just have to figure this out for yourself. That's Black Panther talking to Cap as an aside.
Oh, is it? It's not just a random narrator?
Well, you can either way. It doesn't matter how you look at it, to be honest with you. I'm just going along with the fact that Black Panther brought it up, and now he's just kind of telling us and Cap at the same time, right? And you can do all three. Cap, Black Panther, don't matter. And he's telling us, the current possessor of the weapon is a boy named Jack. I don't know his name is Jack. I thought it was something else. But anyway, and somehow the weapon is controlling his mind. Well, that's Claw. That's Claw doing it.
Well, yeah, no, but he's Jack, and the girl that's with him is Diane.
Yes. Yeah, and they lived in a little town. But anyway,
doing the best they can.
And then Jack went up some hill or some shit like that, right?
He grew up to be a football star. Yeah.
Then he fell down. Fell down the hill. So
now that no one is listening to us anymore.
Yeah, now that we have 0 watchers except us. We actually have 5. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 5.
So this is kind of toxic. This is kind of toxic. Well, there's a bad joke in here, right? So they're like, yeah, we know that they know where he's being kept because they're under the control of this guy who's in stasis himself. Yes. So they're going to the docks where they're loading this dude onto a container ship to go to Wakanda. Just all nonchalantly throwing him in with the cargo. Like, you don't want to have him under guard. And then somebody there says, I can't tell who.
It's like a harbor master.
If you don't accept the Avengers ID. No, it's one of the Avengers.
Oh, no. This dude in the hat with the paperwork.
I'm talking about the one to the left.
Yeah, that's Beast.
If you don't take Avengers ID, I've got the Diners Club card. I'm glad you laughed at that.
Beast and Vision standing there, and they want ID that they're Avengers. Why would you I'm freaking Beast.
In the guy that's in the loading dock's like, well, I mean, you're treating him like cargo, but I can't do that because he's a passenger. Where's the passport or extradition papers?
Now that's a good point.
And then they're explaining that he's not really a person because he's made of sound, which is kind of a little sus.
And then they pulled out diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
He's a weapon. Remember that?
Yeah.
I have diplomatic immunity. Who remembers Lethal Weapon? Anybody? Bueller? That was great. That was a great movie, dude. Jeez, that was a good movie. Anywho, so they whipped out diplomatic immunity. The guy's like, yeah. King of Wakanda. Okay, I got it. But
they're like, but wait, it's registered in Liberia, which by the way, nobody would ever care. Like that's another thing. Nobody would actually care. Like ships are registered where it's cheapest.
Well, that's what Beast says. He goes, well, we're going to Wakanda, dude. It doesn't matter where the boat's registered. You go on a Carnival cruise line, the boats are registered in all kinds of different countries.
The dockmaster would know that.
The dockmaster would know that. But he did have a good point here about the registering of cargo. So it's an interesting little, I don't know, interjection to all the action that we had, right? I thought it was kind of cool. A little weird, but it was kind of cool because it just came out of nowhere that this guy is like stopping the Avengers from loading a boat because he's just like, I got to do my paperwork. Poor guy's just doing his job, right?
Yes.
He's like, I don't understand what the hell you all are doing. But Beast is like, hey man, slide him 100 or something. Back then, that'd be a lot of money. I mean, you guys are rich, right? Give him a 50. I mean, come on, it's the docks.
Yeah. So they're arguing on the docks here.
Yeah. Well, Vision's like, hey man, if you already know the vessel's registry, so you're right again there, JT, then it's owned by Wakanda government.
We're
not trying to break the law, dude.
Made a fake registry to NCC 1701.
Yeah,
that's just me. Let's see. What will it take to? Hey, what's that sound? Then Vision apparently has perfect pitch and knows how many cycles per second it's going at with A sharp.
What do you think of Vision's outfit here? I'm not going to call it a costume. I'm going to call it an outfit. I'm not calling it a comeback.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
It's old school, like the cape and everything, right?
Yeah, but I still don't like it.
I kind of like it. It's not. I mean, it's not bad. It's all right. Close up of Beast isn't too bad here, right? Good facial features, a good nose, brow, whatever, right?
Yeah, and then the Beast's incredulity here. What's the world coming to? Punk kids on a musical motorbike shooting red lions.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell? HE double hockey sticks again, right?
Yeah.
So immediately, old boy just attacks him with a sonic lion this time, a sound wave lion or whatever you guys want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Buddy says he can play sabotage because he's a ginger. So Cap and T'Challa are on the way. So we get a back and forth, real quick, back and forth, 2 panels. One at the docks, Cap and Panther.
Doing I like Captain Panther better.
Captain Panther here. And Cap, look, we all know he's he's got all these, but can he parkour off of 10-story buildings? I guess so. I know he can superhero land. I don't know how high he could go. Right? 10 stories is not a big deal for him, I guess. Yeah. So apparently they took time to call the Wakandan consulate, and that's an important feature. So don't let it throw you off, JT.
Okay.
Spoil or foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And back to the docks. The Sonic Claw is dangerous enough in the hands of amateurs. Okay. Vision's quick on his feet. I can tell you that. It's a pretty cool idea, at least, but we get an ass end picture shot of the line.
Yeah, that looks really strange. That's have to say. It does.
Yeah, it just goes right through his body because Vision is doing vision-y stuff, right?
Yep.
And the structure seems to be composed of harmonics. So now it's harmonics or sound, right? They call it rather than atomic particles. So Vision's figured it out in a matter of a second or two.
Mm-hmm.
And the line goes right through him. But then he says it was not my doing, Beast, because Beast is like, holy cow, look at that. Right?
Right.
And Vision says he tried to do like the diamond hardness of Emma Frost, but it didn't work, and the creature went through him anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he says. He tries, I willed my body to diamond hardness. Yeah.
Giggity.
Giggity. And then he says, apparently this creature is, as good as I am. And then he's like analyzing stuff, right?
Sure.
Close up of, I don't know, is that his nose? There, I don't know about that artwork right there. This one right here. That's a close up of Vision.
It looks funky, doesn't it?
I didn't know what that was for a while. I guess it's Vision, right? So crazy guy here, because he's possessed by Claw, is talking trash now. And he's like, hey man, that's just the beginning. You beat me in the past, but my vengeance will be sweeter. So he's talking trash that this kid would normally not talk, right? So they know that it's not him at this point. And now he throws a rhino at him. I know a few rhinos. And then
Hail to Gap after dark. Yeah, no, we're taking our time. We're almost there.
Oh yeah, we're taking our time, and it's just the one issue, and we're having fun with it, even though there's some weird stuff issue going on. Yep. Let me get him a good heal in the chat. I was talking to him earlier today. There we go. Yes, thank you for stopping.
And without fail, this kid comes in galloping, riding this rhino, the sound rhino. The kid looks in, and of course they deduce everything perfectly. The kid looks hypnotized. I'm betting the Claw has him programmed by the weapon.
Yeah, he's totally possessed by Claw, right?
Yeah,
he's completely possessed. And he shoots the rhino out of the old we didn't really come up with a good name of that motorbike. I should have done a poll.
It looks like a Guardian, not a Harley.
The synthesizer motor scooter sound Claw thing.
Yeah,
that's my idea. So I challenge everybody to come up with something better, which shouldn't be that hard. Phrasing. Anywho,
we have not decided what we're doing next yet. We have some ideas, but we have not had anything for the reveal.
No, we had a website that we wanted to do. That website has some difficulties with some bad pop-ups, but JT knows how to block them. But then somehow the website went down, right, JT?
Yeah.
You weren't able to access the website, which happened to the website, the great one that I had for the BSG run, both runs, right? Yeah. And that's just gone. So that one just came back. And so now we're like, oh, because I'm thinking about buying the DC website, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk. So I'm just giving people ideas because they're asking. We might do some DC runs because we did like 3 Marvel runs. So the prodigal Soundhorn has returned. The Beast is that's Beast flying around. Yeah, it's Beast doing some gymnastics there. And he's talking about the Thunderbolts coming back, right?
Yeah.
And so we get some Beast action. The kid looks hypnotized. And if we didn't already know this, we should have already known this for the readers, right? That he was possessed. The Beast tells us the same thing that you and I are talking about. Which is fine in the comics in case you picked it up. And that's the thing about comic books, right? If you pick up something mid-issue run, like this is only 15. So let's say you pick it up on 8. And I do have a post bulletin in the back of this one, JT, that discusses the fact that they did know they were going to end this run.
Yeah.
They knew. Right? And I mean that they knew before they put out 15 because they tell us in 15. So that answers last week's question. And so you have the problem with comics like this is that a young kid picks this comic up and he has no idea what's going on and they have to rehash stuff, right?
Yep.
It's redundant though. I would say that maybe you have to go pick up the other issue. But anyway, so Beast tells us everything that we just talked about. The kid's possessed. But this little rhino just tosses him like he's nothing. And he makes a joke about himself and he calls him by his name, McCoy. That was pretty interesting, right, JT?
Yeah. I mean,
sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, we might do a live show next week if we come up with something good to talk about that it's not rehashing everybody else's stuff these days. We might do talk about some different characters that you and I have brought up, and then maybe just use the live show as kind of a talk about some old school stuff. JT and I want to do.
It could serve as a launching pad into something new that would go in after that into a different direction, right?
And we are leaning toward DC or maybe an old school indies. But we'll back again. I thought it was kind of cool that McCoy talks about himself in third person here while he's getting his ass kicked, right? Because he's flying through the air and he's talking, well, here we go. I'm going to the bottom of the class, McCoy. So he makes an inside joke about X mansion, X school, right? It's a deep cut. And it's kind of
flew over my head. I thought he was talking about Bones.
No. Yeah, well, so he's talking about,
but I'm a Star Trek guy, so
yeah, he's talking about here when he's grabbing the horn, he's trying to fight this thing, and he's talking about the kid is possessed by Claw, which we already just did, right? And he goes, I'm betting the Claw has him programmed by the weapon, right? There it is. And to deprogram him, I got to get to him through the Crimson Rhino here. He calls him Crimson Rhino. But Beast underestimated this thing, and it tosses him with the swoosh action. And we get a good some foot action and some, you see some other action there too, right?
Yes.
And they missed their joke again, what they could have done here with this guy with the horn, right? If it would have been modern comics, old Beast would have gotten horned, should I say? Right?
Yeah.
But this is 79, right? So he makes the joke here, go to the bottom of the class, Mr. McCoy. So it's like a double entendre about X-Men X-Class, where he's a teacher or a student back then, probably, right? I wouldn't know the lore there that deep, especially for X-Men. So yeah, JT, that is a deep cut joke, and it's pretty good because he refers to himself by his name, and he refers to X Mansion, X School. So pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and it throws him right through this. I guess it's a machine because it's got tread, like tank treads. It's a dock, so it throws him probably through like a lifter or something. Who knows? Or a claw machine. So the sonic version of the species is intractable as the real pachyderm. And I'm like, okay, so that's a deep cut on Beast too, because he's a real scientific, smart guy, right? We all know that. He's very, very intelligent, right? He's a science guy to begin with. He's a scientist, right? And that was kind of deep for kids, though.
There's a lot that you have to know about the Avengers to enjoy this when it's a Black Panther comic and he's not yet a member of the Avengers.
Yeah, or it's a separate run. That's what I mean about the comics. That's why I kind of delved into, you have to kind of know a lot of crap about other people. If you don't know anything about Beast or X-Men, you don't understand any of this. Then it's no good. Or you just, well, I mean, if you're a kid, you just look at the action, like, oh my God, look at that. It's a Beast around. I don't know what he's talking about. And just move on because you're having fun with it, right? You're just a kid. When you've older enough or a teenager and you've really into comics, like a lot of people would have been, I wish I had gotten into it way more. But you would have no clue what's going on there. You just enjoy the fun, right?
Yeah.
But old Mr. Pink Shirt is trying to rescue Claw here. And Herbie's not having any of this shit. He's done. He's done with this guy. He's like, we've been running around town, blah, blah, blah. And when I get my hands on him there, old Jackie, well, I'm going to, we're going to find out what he's doing. Apparently, they were just following his lead, right?
Oh, the Thunderbolts? Yes.
The Thunderbolts. Yeah, they were just following him to the docks.
Now in theaters.
Yes. But not the same Thunderbolts, I can tell you that much. I didn't see the movie.
Holy crud, he's making some dome out of sound. And we're trapped in here with him.
Yeah, he puts a sound bubble up, a sound dome. And let's see who gets trapped in there. The Thunderbolts are in there with Claw. Yep. Vision's on the outside with the Lion.
All of our protagonists are on the outside.
Yeah. Except the Sound Beast. So I'm wondering how it's still working. So Vision
sound, it can do whatever. Sound is like,
yeah. So they square up, announcing the fact that they're evenly matched, right?
Yeah.
Final clash: bestial savagery versus calculating intelligence. I like the fact that they are building up the fight. Kirby did that, right? He did that really well. He was very good with his dialogue boxes when it came to action. He would really build it up. I like that about him. We brought that up several times too, that he was pretty good at dramatizing the action and making you feel like, oh man, really get into the fights. And then I thought there was something here. Oh, yeah. So Vision makes the point, JT, that he might have a comment on this. I'm not sure that I may be able to disrupt the structure of the creature, this creation, but it might hurt him as well. And it's not sure if it'll work. Yeah, I guess so, right?
Right.
I mean, it's Vision. I mean, he's telling you what he's up to, so I guess that's good. And then we get some blue underoos shot of Beast down here. And I guess I was a little confused because Vision was fighting him and he's not there anymore. And now he's going after Beast. I guess
it's a little chaotic. Yeah.
Chaotic. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Hank McCoy's Beast. Right. And, I thought it was kind of cool that he used himself in third person like a Deadpool and referred to X-Men Mansion. But this is a little chaotic scene. So all of a sudden Vision's in front of the Beast. He's not in front of the Beast. The Beast turns on Beast. Or as I say, the Crimson Rhino. We'll call it Crimson Rhino because that's better. turns on the beast. Vision's tracking along here, jumps right up on him and goes through him because he figures out I merely fluctuate my density at a rapid controlled rate, establishing a mass frequency, so to speak. So it's a little deep for a 10-year-old, right? But
it is.
you
Basically,
learn.
he's going to vibrate his own self at a frequency that is the inverse of frequency of the beast or the shield, and hopefully destroy it, which you could do that with speakers.
Yeah.
The speaker system.
It's a little take it Flash, right? The Flash might have done this, but that would have been a crossover. So you're not going to get Flash here. And I like the vision. He came up with that idea. He came up with the idea of just doing the rapid control. It's a good sciencey type of thing, right?
Yep.
Right, JT? I guess.
If
you isolate just the vision in the Rhino, and he's trying to figure it out, right? If you just isolate this part away from everything else, because you're right, it is a little chaotic. Because you got Beast, you got Vision, you got Crazy Boy, and you don't even know where BP is right now.
Right.
I've lost them. I'm not sure where BP and Cap are at all. I've completely lost where they are. And well, I'm just saying. So they're not here in this fight with the Rhino, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. But because they haven't got there, right? So we don't know where they are. They're on the way. They're on the way. That's So I lost them. So they're on the way.
It doesn't help when they basically draw two of these characters the exact same color in the exact same way.
Yeah, somebody brought that up in chat, I think. Was it Gap, Buddy, FK? Somebody brought it up that they're both blue. Not that great an idea, but also the fact that since they knew, I'm going to call it out, that they knew that this was the end. You brought this up last week or earlier tonight. This is a segue. Didn't you bring this up last week? When we on the negative parts of last week, that this was just kind of a way out to build up something else.
I think
so.
Well,
you nailed it, bro. That's why you're smart. That's why I say this damn near every week. And I bring the receipts, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I'm proving it to you that you were right. This is total Vision, Beast, Avengers, and Cap and Black Panther aren't even in this fight, which is okay. You get some new stuff. I like it, to be honest with you. It's just, you were right up again. It's very chaotic. Or we're making it chaotic. I am, but I don't think so. It was confusing at times, right?
It
was. I do like, pardon the pun, the visionary artwork of the fact here to the right that they're fighting and there's the dome. And I like the optics of Beast flying up in the air over the dome. And you got the kid looking up over the dome. You know what I mean? It's just the angles. It's a pretty cool idea that you have this little panel here that this kid is in the dome and they're flying around. You know what I mean? It's like a good movie angle, I'm just trying here.
I know.
Do you see what I mean? Like the angles and stuff. I don't think you're probably liking it too much. I don't know.
I am not. I am. Yeah, I'll be honest. I am not.
Well, it's just that they're thinking, they're trying. You see what I mean? They're trying different angles. They haven't quite given up on at least some of the artwork as far as how they thought about, well, let's do this angle. That's pretty cool, right? Looking up. Now, what would have been better is having the kid looking from the dome out and seeing a bunch of action, right? That would have been cool. Yeah, so Vision, well, Well, what's your comment about that then?
About which exact piece
well,
here?
the part that you're not liking, it's because
I
I can kind of
just
tell you. I was like, I don't think JT's gonna like this part here.
I just am like, well, like I was saying a moment ago, he's saying, oh, I'm going to vibrate my body at the inverse frequency of these different sound solids and drill in like a drill into
Yeah,
all this. And I'm like, well, couldn't you just set up a bunch of loudspeakers and have a little piano of your own and play the inverse frequency, and then it would like shatter this
because
thing because it couldn't take the energy, the sound energy, like it would just break it straight apart. And wouldn't you also be able to break up the rhino beast pretty quickly? These seem like pretty easy things if you are mega geniuses like these guys think that they are. Why wouldn't you just do that? So
yeah, it's
the
the whole sound thing, and the thing is, you're actually answered your own problem with it before when we talked about how this is a segue into other comics because this is the last issue. We already knew that anyway, but now we know more because I read some of the post bulletin. I'll bring it up, and if I don't forget, this is just plainly showing what Vision can do. That's all it is.
Mhm.
So if you take it in that context, you actually kind of explain your issues with it, right?
Yes.
But you were already right about it to begin with. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You've kind of come around onto your own. You kind of came around correctly on your own thing there. This is nothing but a Red Tornado Flash put together, brilliant. In a millisecond, he figured stuff out, and this is Vision doing his thing. That's all it is. So then he goes in at the dome as well. We get a little talky talk. The Thunderbolts are inside the dome, and old Herbie's getting ready to back punch, donkey punch this dude.
Yeah.
And
sorry, work phone.
Oh, no worries. So yeah, Herbie's had enough of this guy here. Do you need a sec?
No, I'm good. I'm good. It's not for me.
But old Jackie backslaps the hell out of him, knocks the shit out of him. It's like, get off me, man. What you doing? What are you trying to do? And just knocks the shit out of him here. So so basically Jackie is just trying to save Claw because it is Claw at this point, or in his mind. And Cap, what did I say? Panther Cap, T'Challa Cap, whatever. What did I say before? They show up.
Capchala.
Capchala.
Yeah. Capchala. I'll just say Capchala. Why not?
And they get there. And of course, in straight comic fashion, Cap goes, it looks like we arrived right at the critical moment, T'Challa. And that's classics, right? That's classic comic book dialogue. Yes. You got to love that. You can't, that's like par for the course. You have to put stuff like that in comics for the kids. Look, man, we got here just in time. Right?
Right.
Yeah, I hope we can get through that dome.
Couldn't you dig a hole under the barrier of the dome?
Well,
burrow through real quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure Vision's trying to use straight up muscle here. I'm a little confused that he went through the Rhino using, being smart. Yeah. And now he's just trying to punch his way through, or he's trying to. Okay, so he's trying to do the same thing. It's not working. I'll say, yeah, okay. So he's not trying to punch his way through. It's just not working the same as the Rhino. The dome is different, I guess. Yeah, I'll just go with it because that's what's happening. And I wouldn't be surprised if it proved to be equally impervious to your shields. I don't know. They went back to the shield thing. I don't even know why. I don't know why they brought up the shield again. I thought they were going to use it. Maybe I forgot. I read this earlier. Anyway,
They were, yeah.
you
I
just
don't
get
know.
odd dialogue every now and then,
You do.
right?
You do.
Just it's misplaced. Not trying to be mean. It's just kind of weird that you would even put it in there. Because now is that a police officer back there? Right? Guess we got a police officer. It looks like he's got a gun. And I'm like, where'd that guy show up from? Who's that dude? Because apparently nobody works at the dock except that one guy.
Oh, of
Hey.
course. Of course.
And so Vision goes, perhaps we should go for the direct route into the enclosure. Perhaps hope for a direct route. I thought that's what he was trying to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
A minute ago. And then he's going to try to do what you said, try to figure other ways around it. But since you got here, Black Panther, we're just going to hand over everything to you. You just take over.
Yeah. Even though you're just walking into the situation and you don't belong to the Avengers yet, we're just going to let you take the lead, I guess.
Yeah. Other than the fact that Vision, if anybody there is smarter than Black Panther and or has the abilities at this point to handle the situation, it would be Vision. Wouldn't it not? I guess I'm asking everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But the comic is called Black Panther. So
yeah,
we're gonna let Black
Panther.
That
I will say one thing. This is a very like 1950s comic. Frame right there at the bottom right.
Yes, they went. You can
maybe even earlier than 1950s, very 1930s, perhaps.
Yeah.
So the art, I'll give some kudos to the art for that. It's kind of takes you back.
Stream this is Silver Age, is it not? 79. I always get the dates wrong because I was trying to get my Godzilla stuff together. Showa, Heisei era. JT, I'm not digging a lot of the Godzilla movies outside of Showa, although I did like Destroya and a couple other ones. They're just very odd to me. But anyway, so yeah, very, very old school drawing here. I like it. I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, but you notice there's the background buildings and stuff. There just aren't any. Here to the left pane, it's just orange, yellow, or whatever, pale orange. See what I mean?
Yep.
No details in the backgrounds, but I know you don't like Vision's outfit, but I like this facial thing. We haven't talked about that kind of stuff from these guys yet. Not very much. The Beast one looked good, but I like how Vision's face looks like he's very disconcerted. You see what I mean? The brows. That was something we picked up in Battlestar Galactica. Some faces were horrible and some were great, like Jolly. Remember Jolly? Oh, man.
Yes.
Some of Jolly's could be some of the worst art. And then a couple of them were freaking great, like one or two, right?
Yeah.
But anyhow, if you guys remember that stuff. But dun dun dun. Guess what happens? Oh boy.
Breaks free.
Heck yeah, he's just all of a sudden, he's just like back to full sound wave restoration. That's basically the best way I can say it, because he's the master of sound. Remember, right?
Yes, at last I'm restored to my original status as one of the most powerful beings to walk the earth. Remember Final Fantasy number 56.
Yeah,
remember the Final Four 56.
So
Fantastic Four number 56. Yeah. It would help because I don't remember FF 56. Thank you though.
Yeah. So now this goes back again to that Cap knows about Claw going all the way back to FF 56. See what I mean, JT?
Yes.
About the vibranium in Black Panther. There's no way, unless somebody can tell me specifically how Black Panther doesn't know that Cap's shield is made with vibranium. I'm at a total freaking loss on that one particular point. And I'm genuinely asking. I'm not mad because maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the fact that he hints at it and doesn't know is a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Because they themselves have told us that, well, we already know it's 52 and 53 from T'Challa. But anyway, we've brought that up a couple times. What I do found interesting again here is that speech bubble right above it is that Claw, and we've seen this before, that he is actually one of the most powerful people walking the earth. But is that with his sonic gun or without his sonic gun? Because he doesn't even have his sonic gun, right?
Right. It's not on his arm yet.
It's not on his arm. He's only using that kid from the being possessed. So we know he has some mental abilities to possess people. But this is interesting because they do a throwback to when Herbie first met him. And remember what Herbie did to him the first time?
Trying to remember.
When he was in the coat and Black Panther, remember he smelled him from all the way up at the top of the building? Oh, I know that.
Oh,
guy.
yeah. I remember that. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I just happen to know who that guy is. Well, I think I know who that guy is. Remember all that weird stuff that remember T'Challa now has ESP, he has radar. I call it radar sense. And he probably smell people from a million miles away anyway, but it's even more heightened. And they were going to mug this dude, remember? And then T'Challa actually saved them from getting massacred.
Yep. I remember.
However, there's a twist to the plot, JT and everybody.
There's a plot.
Well, yes. Because remember earlier in this issue, Claw said he did it on purpose. Or was that just a way to get out of this issue? We will find out, ladies and gentlemen. Because guess what he tells Herbie here? Well,
what does he tell Herbie?
It won't work this time. So Herbie shot him the first time, remember?
Yeah.
And it went through him, and the sonic vibrations, he wasn't ready for the speed of the bullet and put him in a coma. Or if that's what you call it, put him in stasis, I would say, right? Coma would be like a human being. So he learned his lesson, or they've just moved on with him to make him more powerful. And that's what they do. So in my former weakened state, your gunshots put me into a coma-like stasis. I just said that, right? And that wasn't because I read it earlier. It just made sense. Fortunately, my sonic claw was already programmed. Okay, so they kind of mushed in trying to have a plot with the Sonic that he did it on purpose, and it was just kind of a way out of the issue, right, JT? Yeah. So he's just going to go back now and say, I did it on purpose, but they caught him off guard, even though he did it on purpose. A little weird. Anyway, we'll just go with it. That's what he did.
Yes.
He was looking for somebody to possess or something. I guess so. And Vision did what you said they should do. And he comes up through the ground under the bubble. See,
right.
JT, you're smart.
Right. Well, I'm just using a little bit of common sense. That's all.
It's his freaking Vision, right? Just go through the damn thing.
I like how he pops up through the ground.
Pops up
right in the exact thing where the villain reveals his plan to everyone. Totally unneeded. And then while there's still Avengers to oppose you, Law.
Right. Classic comics writing there. I'll give them that again. They stuck to that. Not while I'm here. Right.
And then Bro down here, where am I? I feel like I just woke up from a night of binge drinking and the nightmare is still happening.
Yeah. So apparently he's not possessed anymore. But Claude just doesn't take the time. I guess he didn't have time to just run over there and grab his weapon. That's what I would have done immediately. He's screwing around with Herbie. A classic villain would have just walked off. You're shooting me, dude? Really? All right. Now I got my claw back and just vaporized the guy. Right?
Yes.
Would not have been awesome? Oh, Herbie, all he wants to do is go around shooting people anyway, right?
Right.
And all he has to do is say, all right, my man, you got me the first time, and Herbie's just trying to shoot him with that eight shot gun. Remember that thing?
Oh, yeah, the 8-shot. Yeah.
The 8-shot gun, everybody. And
if you weren't here last week, they had a wheel gun or a revolver that had room
at least 8
for at least 8 bullets, which they don't make those.
Yeah. And yes, buddy, I know you love Millennium. I'm trying. I mean, I'm a GMK 2001. Although I tried to watch it the other day and I fell asleep, but I was tired anyway. So I like watching stuff I like to fall asleep to. So yeah,
right.
I want to give a compliment on the remember the hands, the one issue, last issue, I guess, when we first transitioned over to these guys, that they drew really good hands. Remember that? They had like the guy was pointing right at the front of the page. They're good with hands. A little big here, but I like how they're like, I'm the claw. I'm trying to have fun with this, right, JT?
Right.
And I'm just picking out the good points that I think are comic related, like not while I'm here. It's just classic stuff. It's good that they're doing that, right? Or it would have taken a lot out of this issue, as it already has on some of the weird stuff that they do. But I like the Vision goes right at him, man. Just swings right on him. Dude, he doesn't waste any time, right?
Right.
And they do go back to classic Kirby of talking trash to each other while they're fighting. We've missed that a little bit here, right?
We did. Oh yeah. We have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Kirby was great at it. And he in his continuity is also great with it. And when Black Panther was fighting bad guys, he did not waste talking a lot of trash. Right?
I love you have this fool. I don't need my Sonic Claw to defeat the likes of you. It is pretty fun.
Yes, you do. Yeah, but you're right. You're right, JT. He's like, Sonic Claw, kick your ass anyway, right?
Right.
That's what I mean about the trash talking. We finally get a trash talking guys here. And Vision just right back at it. Bravado's not was wasted on me, dude.
Yeah.
And guess what Vision says? The same damn thing I just said. You didn't even go get your weapon, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And now I'm not going to let you. That's exactly what I was just talking about. The first thing Claw would have done is let me just kind of meander over here and grab my most powerful weapon on the planet. Remember?
Yeah.
That's what they touted it as. But he seems to be content to take Vision one-on-one here. And it's probably not a good idea, I guess. But Claw is standing to what he's doing here, dude. And there's a good fist right there, pretty good little fist with knuckles.
Somebody should tell them that the ability to make a sonic creature is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
Yes.
He's a little proud of the technological terror that he's constructed.
Yeah. But for having the most powerful weapon on the planet, he doesn't seem to do like a barrel roll or something and just go over there and grab it. He seems content on just fist fighting it out with Vision. And Vision straight up tells him, you may possess the power to vanquish me, but in classic Avengers Vision fashion, he says, oh, but somebody else will avenge me.
You strike me down, will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Yada, yada.
But you will fail. You will fall. That's throw myself on the holy grail of you'll beat me, but you won't. I was just thinking, why don't they just keep fighting until that happens, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be saying, all right, it's a little defeatist.
Just
right?
a bit.
But it's classic heroism, right?
Yes.
And they threw the ultimate heroism stuff right there. It's just kind of misplaced. Vision, I think it would have just kept fighting first. Anywho, an old claw is obliging them. We're going to throw down. And that's what they do. And then all of a sudden, we've got all these police officers with their some kind of
Unknown Mini
rifles.
14s, maybe. Hard to
I would
tell.
say back then it would have to be an M1A because this isn't Kirby. He's not going to draw some.
But that's not an M1A front.
But what's up with those helmets?
The ones that you can't see through.
You can't. Are they on backwards?
Who knows? Who knows?
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Everybody,
Yeah.
Matthew Pounder, holy crap! Yes, we're
But,
getting the old school crowd in. Thank you.
Police emergency, no civilians allowed. Then Black Panther just is going to tell the police what to do, and they're totally receptive when you do that, right? Right, Dave?
Yeah, especially because you can't even see out your damn helmets where the cops are yelling at people. This dude talking can't. His helmet's covering half his damn face, all the way down to his mouth. Anyway, I don't know. That was just one little weird thing. Remember, they had time to call the, Black Panther whipped out his cell phone when they were getting there, right? Remember? Because he's got his cell phone case. You guys didn't notice that, right? He's got a little cell phone case back there. I'm being facetious.
A vital package.
Yeah. Deep breath, JT. Although I know you know what's coming on this week.
So they've rushed from the consulate in the nick of time.
Yeah.
A pair of gloves. They're vibranium damped.
Okay. Is all
and then you got discount Wolverine over here saying, well, that certainly means a lot to all of us. Well, thank you.
Well, yeah. But did you catch the guy made a joke about New York City traffic?
Yeah.
Jeez, I trust that Taku and I. That's not the same guy from before. I missed that dude from the Wakanda, right? I always thought they could have made a better character. I don't know who Taku is. He's just an assistant. This city survey. They just got a kid's not going to know what that means. Survey it of motor vehicles. How about the damn streets are freaking packed, my man? We got here as quick as we could, but no.
Yeah.
The city survey it of motor vehicles. Okay, impeded our progress from the consulate. So that's an adult way of saying traffic sucks, my man. We got here as soon as we could. Effing New York City traffic, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we get the gloves that are dampened in vibranium. I'm like, I'm not even going to go there, JT, with that. That's what they came up with. That's what I'm going with. I know. When I saw that, I'm like, oh boy.
So he gets his work gloves on from Home Depot. He's going to go gardening, maybe.
Yeah. And so he describes these as they have the capacity to deaden sound waves in controlled amounts. And apparently the police guy has their visor. They're like RoboCop visors or something, dude. I don't know. You can see through them, but they're from Wakanda, I guess. But so I don't know. And the glove circuitry. Now, okay, so I this part here is not for any 10-year-old. I had to read it like 3 times because I'm not dumb. But I still had to read it like 3 times.
It still didn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, I'll read it. Screw it. The glove circuitry monitors the intensity of the sound absorbed by the vibranium claws. Got it. Okay. And then enabling me to read it off from a digital display. Like,
oh, well, lucky him, a digital display.
Why does it matter? Either it works or it doesn't. Does it matter if the digital display tells you like the Predator?
Exactly.
You remember the Predator's little timer when he puts it and it goes beep beep and it has the red bars and well, not red bars. It has the red whatever their language. Yeah, their language buttons. And it didn't take long for even Arnold Schwarzenegger to figure out that's a freaking timer, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't,
counting to
it's
something.
counting. So if you're looking at the gloves and you're pounding away, you're digging. So does it tell you when something's going to blow up?
So he can read the sound frequency. Like it gives
Yes.
him the number of the value of the frequency.
Yes.
So
And
once he knows that, okay, so you have read only on this. Then he says, thus I can grasp or tear claws sound constructs at will. How? Why?
I don't know.
Using what?
The only benefit of that would have been that the gloves can ascertain the sound waves. And somebody mentioned it. Yeah, get out of there. That something's going to blow up. And by the way, they bring it up, right? He tells everybody, yeah, it's a little,
but it doesn't actually do anything. But it doesn't actually do anything. It just reads sound frequency like your ear. It's a digital. These gloves are a digital ear, and then somehow ears now can rip at people's constructs at will.
Well, they're dipped in vibranium, so they're ultra powerful. And he tells everybody,
but it doesn't. It doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't.
It just says they can read a frequency like a tuner.
Yeah,
like a simple tuner. It can read the frequency, and then that somehow is supposed to let him do stuff.
Yeah, continuity matters,
it's crap,
dude.
Dave, it's crap.
Continuity matters, and we're having a lot of fun with this. With some of these little things, they're just weird, right? JT, everybody, we're not nitpicking, and they put it. It's just weird. That was way overly tech for a kid. That way over. Maybe a teenager who's into science, and I get it. That a lot of comic books, a lot of scientists and brilliant people read comics when they were kids, right? Yeah. And that brought you into wanting to be into science, being astronauts, being good guys, all kinds, and some evil, I guess, right? Because there's been some bad people in comics, right?
Yep.
But so on the good side of things.
So this glove, Dave, though, this glove just does the exact same thing that Vision was going to do before he gave up and dug a hole.
Yeah, but here's
where's the hole again? Why don't they all go through that hole that Vision just dug? Why do they have to punch through this all over again?
Because they made a mistake here, and I read it, so I can't unread it. And we're still having fun here. And while the Panther attempts to claw his way into the solid bubble, I'm like, okay, man, that means he can't go underneath it then. Anyway, so you did all this tech stuff a second ago, but it just don't even put that in there, right, JT? He's in there. Let it go. I'm even defending just go with it. Just go with it. You don't even have to sit there and describe that it's a solid bubble, but he couldn't get through it just a minute ago. And then he could. So, right?
Yep.
I see what I mean about little things. But anyway, I would have just not even put that in there. It's overly verbose, but get to the action, man. You're a kid. We want to have fun. We're watching this. They're going at it. That's what I want to see. Vision and Claw throwing down, brother. You know what I mean? And they're talking trash. That's what I want to see. And Face it, Avenger, you're wearing down, and Vision's like, perhaps, and they're going at it, and you won't last long. Giggity. I'm an android bot, and they're going at it. And this is the cool stuff of comics, right?
Yeah.
Not this 2 seconds ago, because boy, you and I cannot stand when their continuity. These are grown ups drawing these, writing this stuff. If it's 2 seconds ago, you shouldn't have got this messed up, right, JT?
Yes.
We're not talking 3 series ago or 5 issues ago when you changed people. Because
they're really good at remembering random Fantastic Four books.
Yes, that you may not have ever read.
And they're not so good at remembering what they just did a couple pages up.
Yeah, and Matthew Kirby Crackle is wrong. It's supposed to be negative space. Yeah, I mean, they can go off all these deep tangents. My point is, you have to have continuity at least from 3 or 4 panels ago. right, JT? That's what irritates JT and I some of the most.
More than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. Anyhow, and being overly verbose, I think everybody can agree to that. But I like the fact that they're just throwing down and talking trash. That's cool. I give them that. And Claw's really talking trash. You don't get it, dude. I'm getting stronger. I can do this all day long. Where have we heard that before? Cap is like, hey man, who's holding my beer?
Right.
We can MSTK 3000 in this whole series, dude. You know that, right?
I'm sure we could. But that's not why we're here.
No.
You know,
well,
it's just I'm
at
the point where I'm like, this is not even the same comic from 10 issues ago.
Yeah, because we're desperately
5 issues ago.
It's 3 panels ago. 3 panels ago, you got the whole Vision thing wrong. It doesn't make sense. But
wouldn't Black Panther be so strong with his mystical nature that he would just bitch slap and sonically shatter?
Well, they've completely forgot. They've completely forgotten that Black Panther has ESP abilities at this point and could mess with people's minds if he really wanted to. Because remember, Kanata was stuck in a mountain of rock in the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
And Black Panther has the power now to actually communicate with him through telepathy. Is that not correct?
Yep.
And they turned right around and dismissed it completely and actually went against it when they said he couldn't do it. And you and I flipped out about it.
Right.
Anyway. So they've completely dropped everybody who's listening. They completely forgot the fact or dropped the fact that he can use mental ability and he could contact Vision here. He could throw shade at Claw mentally. And they're just not even using that. They come up with the glove thing, which they do bring up. They talk about it here in a minute. So Vision and Claw are fighting, and Claw gets the best of them. Claw's getting stronger because he holds out for nearly a minute. Right. And remember, the Thunderbolt guys are hanging around. There's old Herbie. I like the fact that they didn't forget about Herbie got his ass kicked a minute ago, right? He got bitch slapped. And he got pimp slapped with the backhand. And I like the fact that they did have the vision to think about little things like this, which makes the comic good. That his buddy was trying to help Herbie. Like Herbie was like, oh man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that's Kirby would do stuff like that. Remember how he used to talk about how they would drag people off in the distance, or there'd be a guy way in the back running around or something. And you didn't have to draw it, but they did anyway. Or that Kirby would do that anyway. He was really good with background character action. So they did well here with that Herbie thing. That was kind of cool. And the guy's still talking trash. You know, you're a tough dude, but I knew you'd fold. Then he goes for the Sonic Claw. And you're like, uh-oh. He's actually getting a hold of his weapon right when T'Challa rips through the bubble, the sound barrier.
Right.
And now he's like, oh, still dreaming of Conquest Claw? Now they're old pals here, right? They're old arch enemies. And he calls him the cursed king of Wakanda. So these guys know these guys know each other for a very long time. And they do the thing where they're going to do the one-on-one thing here, JT. They're going to they're going to pull the old street fight. Don't get involved. Let them hash it out. One-on-one morality thing, which I think is it's only good because it's Black Panther comic and it's the last issue. Other than that, it's pretty dumb. If you have a guy who's the strongest man or strongest weapon on Earth, and they don't take turns trying to help fight this guy,
right?
It's one-on-one action. So for the comic's sake, yes, you would do this. But if this was a continuation, and moving on to other characters, you probably wouldn't do this, right? I guess.
Right.
But T'Challa jumps in and says, yeah, Vision, I got this. Now, if Iron Man was there, he'd be like, nah, man, we need to take this dude out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for the sentiment, but this isn't a back alley bar brawl because somebody, said something about your sister.
Quick question. Where did the tank come from?
Well, those guys, were like, I think it's part of the dock stuff again, because remember that other one had that tank tread. I think it's just machinery on the dock or something. They just used the same type of one that they had before. So Black Panther's pulling the one-on-one honorable fight type of thing, which I agree with on one sense and don't agree with on the other. But, it is Black Panther comic, not the Avengers. So, and he says it, the final combat must be between Claw and me alone. And they all agree. Okay. And even Claw says it, JT, everybody. Even Claw agrees with me. That's noble sentiments, Your Majesty. But stupid. He calls him Your Majesty. I like that. That's funny. That's kind of like old Kirby talking trash to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember old girl called, remember we miss Mr. Little. We miss him. He's an a-hole, but we miss him.
He's never coming back.
I ain't never come back. Yeah, we were kind of hoping he would come back just for fun, right? We never got Mr. Little back, everybody. And old, what's her name, used to talk so bad to him. Oh my God, the things that she said to him. Oh, wow. She called him a maggot one time.
Oh, yeah. She would disrespect him all up and down. But let's see here.
Claw disrespects him, but actually calls him Your Majesty at the same time. So it's good humor, JT, right?
Yes.
It's for that. It's good humor. But now we know T'Challa can throw some hooks, and he's got vibranium gloves on. So what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You could tell my excitement for this has waned significantly to the point where I don't think it's there anymore.
Let me say something, Matthew Pounder. You're so correct, because I was looking at some stuff about that, and it does talk about this in this issue 15 in the Black Panther post bulletins that I may or may not get to, because I'm actually talking about it now. I've already talked about a little bit there, JT. I don't think you've read some of those. I don't know if they show up on your site.
I have them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you read almost like the last page where they admit that this is the last issue. And how would you have known that in this issue? Because they did know. They already know. And Matthew Powder, I think you're absolutely correct. I think they actually mention it, that it goes off into Marvel Premiere number 51, everybody, if you want to keep up. And then, as we all know, there's a bunch of other Black Panther series runs that pop up. Some were pretty good. I had those back in the day. Got rid of all of them because I'm an idiot. But he says you take that Wakandan sound technology into account, Claw, developed years ago to counteract your threat. So they do a speech bubble to cover the fact that they have the gloves. Right, JT?
The work gloves.
We already have against Claw. But they don't reference it into any Fantastic Fours, do they?
No.
Things that make you go, right? But anywho, it still seems effective in that task, and he cracks his ass pretty damn good, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But that's not the end of it, because he says, so to use my own power against me, I'm well acquainted with the uses of sonic feedback as a defensive weapon. But let us see if you can defend yourself against this.
Yeah, and man, Black Panther's been doing some back workouts here, dude.
Don't you think Black Panther could just kind of duck out of the way?
He could have kicked him in the gonads from behind right here, or give him a kneecap or something.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. Just
here's your sonic boom.
Oh, that would have been perfect. That would have been a perfect caption. Think about it. Oh man.
Oh man. But anyway, they've missed out so many good things. See what I'm saying? We can MSTK this, or we could have
Yes.
rewrote the comic so hilariously. I don't know if that's the correct word, but
Sure. Why not?
and so yeah, apparently Black Panther's been doing some lat pull downs. Because he's like insanely more buff than all the pictures that they've had before, although they always have them pretty buff, I guess. Sure. He's going to sonically throw whatever's left of this machinery, or he's going to add some sonic waves to it, emitting high intensity sound waves to the machinery. And just talking trash. We get a good little action shot of Panther launching at him. Again, background, just plain yellow. I get it. You know, you didn't want to take the time to do it. That's fine. But they admit that Panther has lost his technological advantage. I'm like, I don't know how, but okay.
How? Yeah.
Yeah. From where? From when? He's got the gloves on now, dude. Right? He's at least caught up to the sonic gun. And if you don't let him fire the damn thing, which is why he should have kicked him in the goat, his sound nads. Don't know if it would have worked, but it would have been funny. And then they put in, there's no reason to respond verbally. Yes, there is, because it's funny when they talk trash to each other.
Well, there was never any need to respond verbally.
No, but that's what makes the comics great. I don't know why they put that in there. Anyway, because it's right in the middle of all this action. Instead,
the African warrior king turns his adversary's sound blasts to his own purpose.
Yeah, like not getting hit in the face with it.
Right? Yeah, pointing at the ground. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's probably a good move. Not too hard to figure out that he doesn't want to get hit in the face with it point blank, considering what happened to him a couple issues ago.
Although I will say that's not a great way to hold his arm down, because he looks like he's done enough bench press curls that he could lift his arm back up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's totally not a very good position, but yeah,
it caught him by surprise here, and
so they shoot him under the dock.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. They fall into the water. But then again, I'm thinking, well, I'm getting some of my comics and anime and stuff. I'm getting my JoJo mixed up with this.
By the way,
comic.
Sound waves don't stop in a liquid medium the way that they insinuate here, even though it's well drawn. I'll give them that. It was well drawn. Sound waves get supercharged in a liquid and they travel faster. So they would become even more powerful. Not less.
Again. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of backtrack on that too. So you caught that as well, right? Didn't you?
Yeah. Right. And Vision says in the next box. Not only that, water is a far better conductor of sound than air.
Yeah, but see, here we go. Cap is like, we need to intervene because Panther can be Panther, but he can't breathe underwater.
Right.
Duh. And Vision's like, nah, man, we're bikers, we're 1% biker. We can't intervene. We're like thugs. So it's the honor of the street fight. Okay. But we'll wait. Vision says we'll wait. And then again, you're right. They backtrack on the whole water thing. I was getting it mixed up with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure season, where they introduced the fact that his kinetic powers are great in water. They call them stands. But anyway, I won't divulge into the anime. That's the show that has all the rock names like Dio and Led Zeppelin that I told you about. I don't know if you know that, right?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, it's hilarious. Mrs. Dadman covers it. She was showing that show at least.
Yeah, but I'm always working when she's on. It's really a tragedy. My schedule's never free.
I'm trying to do a few things during the day, and I've got to have like background music or stuff like that. But speaking of background, we get a pink background there. I guess they're just changing palette shades for backgrounds. And you did like the art where they fell in the water here?
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it shows good action, or the water bubbles and everything, and it's good. I know it's good vision. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what I'm getting at here. I'm not trying to make jokes on that one. I like the fact that they're thinking about art, right?
Yeah.
And they're still haven't quite given up, although some of the speech stuff here was wacky. You know, they do all that talking, but then we don't need any talking here. Then don't put it in the damn box. Just do the action, right?
Yeah.
It's just weird. And then they come up with something really good. Really good.
Weird.
And then I like
you keep saying it, and I keep thinking it.
Yeah.
You keep saying the Rachel Zegler line.
Yeah.
That it's weird.
It's weird. Oh God, you had to go there.
Anyway, I did.
I really don't like her. That's my whole old school Hollywood thought process, and everybody knows mine about how they don't hold people. And there I go. Anyway, so up at the top right here with Claw, the artwork here is great because T'Challa gets another good left hook on him. And at first I thought that Claw was just trying to shoot away here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it looks like. But then when you see it, he clocks him so good. So well. Excuse my English.
How dare you?
How dare you? Superman. And I can only stand under for a few minutes. Duh. We know that. So he catches him with a great left hook here under the water and just jacks him up. I thought it was just like superpose guy. He's trying to get away.
But how hard is he really hitting him with the water slowing him down?
Well, but then it's kinetic energy through the water. So if it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it really clocks him.
Okay.
And then he's like, JT, I know you're going to get this part right here. Did you catch what he says? What he's thinking to himself?
At what part?
Look at the gloves. We already smashed
digital display. Did it get wet and messed up?
No, it got stronger to say that he's getting stronger because he's double grab throwing him.
Okay.
Which in judo martial arts under the water, I don't know. It's a good way to hold him down, but you're not going to get away with that move. A good double kick to the chest can separate you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a judo expert, anybody. Let's just get that clear. But left hand,
you're too modest. You're too modest.
But it would have seemed to me that left hand grabbed the thing and pulled the.
Dave has to register his hands at the police department every time he moves, folks.
Yeah, he would have pulled an Iron Man stones on the glove and ripped that damn sonic thing off his arm, right? But he goes for a double chokehold. So all I'm saying is it's just a matter of choices there. Oh, because guess what he does on the next page, JT? He grabs the damn thing.
Grabs him by the neck.
And grabs the sonic weapon at the same time. So the whole chokehold scene was only to talk about the digital display, which we already know shows intensity and power, and it's blinking. And he just told us that it's getting better. I like the fight scene here. That's because I was just talking about it, right? This is what you should have already done. Mm-hmm. You're wasting panels there. And then he does judo. I love it.
Oh, look. Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm getting ahead of you.
Oh.
I'm getting ahead of you.
So Black Panther does do exactly, and it wasn't because I thought about this earlier. I hadn't really thought about the judo moves. I didn't like the double chokehold there. He should have gone for the weapon. And then on the next page, that's what he's doing. I'm like, see? Ha-ha. And he reverses that grip and goes on the outside of his arm and leg sweeps him, tosses him. That's total jiu-jitsu judo shit there.
And they do the solution that I've been saying since we started this comic. The only solution is to set up a feedback loop, internalize the energy release by turning Claw's weapon on himself. It works. Yeah. Thankfully, the blast is small. Sound frequencies canceling each other out.
Yeah, and he does the double judo kick to the chest to get away from him. Because remember, they're still underwater. He's not going to get that far away, is he?
It would only cancel out the sound. I'm going to point this out, okay? It would only hurt him if the sound he was shooting was the inverse of the frequency of his body.
This is just for comics, guys. This is just for comics' sake. Their continuity sucks. We all know that they've mentioned several times that this is one of the strongest weapons on the face of the earth. Did they not say that?
Well, I'm just saying it's so convenient. It's so
this is like
convenient.
The Batman movie. How the hell did he jump out of that Batcopter and get away from a mini nuke?
That wasn't mini in the Dark Knight. That nuke was not mini.
Well, anyway, this is the same type of thing. I already mentioned he has to grab the weapon and take it from him. Did I not? So because he does not do that.
To me, this is not a small complaint, though.
It's not, but it's not our fault. And I know it's not our fault. It's not. They have said several times that this dude and that sonic gun is the worst, most powerful weapon on earth. So they got to get out of this now. That's all it is. T'Challa looks beat up here. He's got rips in his clothes, although I don't know where from.
He's
so
in water.
He kicks away. He kicks away, and he has to explain to us. Thankfully, it was only small, so they get out of it. That's all it is. It just got to end it somehow or another. Because now we've had like 2 pages of fighting.
Yeah,
he does. I love the judo moves, but he doesn't rip it off
underwater. Yeah,
he should have ripped it off.
The artwork was not a problem this week.
No, the artwork's great. I love the action.
I'll give that to them.
Yeah, the bubbles and this, and even when he kicks away here, it shows that, and he actually looks like he's really far away from the guy. But they don't do anything like he suffers from any of the sound waves through the water. Because imagine a nuclear sub exploding and you're only like 20 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to do so well, right?
Oh, you are really not going to do very well.
So think of it like that. And it's nitpicking at the end, but I'm sorry. God dang it. What happened? Why is that doing that? Sorry, guys. I know how to fix it now. So. Anywho, not to get upset at the end here. So, and seconds later, nobody's even helping him down there. So they just wait. From the sound of it, I would say that Claw perished in the implosion. Oh, I know you're gonna tear into that.
Yuck.
I was like, oh, JT's just gonna.
It's a bad enough joke. I'm not that offended.
I know, but because we're just
also
nice
would not
now.
be an implosion, but that would. It's a funny enough one. It's a good one-liner. Yeah.
And I'm not a TNT expert either, but I don't think any of us in the chat has to be. It's not an implosion. That's what the sub would have done, depending on what happened. Could he have survived T'Challa? That's Cap being Cap.
Right.
He didn't lose his cap. He's like, I don't know, man. T'Challa, do you think he died? So I like that on a good note here. Cap's me and Cap. And he's like, hey, man, do you really think he died in there? I don't know, man. And Black Panther follows up, says, nah, it's not impossible, dude. I'm like, yeah. So of all the people to say it, might have been the security guard or military dude to say it, not Vision.
Right.
So anyway, Beast automatically had transformed from the security guy who was pulling him out of the water. Now it's Beast pulling him out of the water.
Sure.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Sure.
Weird things.
Why not?
And if he ever does return, we'll find the Black Panther ready to bring him to justice, everybody. Yes. I think there's just different writers for different speech bubbles.
Yeah.
Like enter the classic comics thing. And they've done that a few times here. Like when Vision said, you're not going to get away with it as long as the Avengers are here. So Black Panther goes, well, if he's still alive, we'll kick his ass later.
Easy, Panther. This is no time to go on the stump.
Even,
Let's get him to his limo, Cap.
so, so even Beast is with us, dude. Even Beast is like, yeah. Chill out, dude. So there you go, everybody. Even Beast from 1979
Well,
is on our
I'm
side.
sorry. This whole battle took place in like what, 5 minutes?
Well, I mean, if he was underwater for maybe a minute or two.
Quickly, okay, 10 minutes at the most.
Yeah, 10. Oh, geez, less than that.
Oh yeah, okay. As the diplomatic vehicle roars off, leaving a cluster of disappointed reporters in its wake.
Well, I mean,
They don't have cell phones or the internet or pagers even. They already have reporters on the scene.
A huge
Unless
Avengers
there's
battle.
a huge jump in time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge Avengers battle going on. I mean, we got to remember the Thunderbolts are running around town with their sonic super cycle synthesizer. Did I say that right? Holy shit!
Sonic, yeah, stupid Sonic synthesizer.
I can't repeat it. You can clip it. I can't repeat that. And then this one, I guess they are police officers because he said he's going to read them their rights. Yeah. And I don't think old Herbie's just going to stand there for that. I think he probably would have bitch slapped this guy and ran off.
Right.
Do you think Herbie, after shooting people, is just going to okay, man, here you go. You can arrest me.
They still had their 8-shooter, I thought.
Yeah. I mean,
did they throw that out?
Oh, he probably lost it when the old boy backslapped him. Who knows? Probably, yeah. I just can't see Herbie. I'm gonna defend Herbie and his criminal ass here because he's a criminal. I mean, you know.
Oh, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing.
All of them. He didn't do nothing. I would have said, "Here's another chance to kick this guy in the gonads," because we could have had 3 good nut shots in this issue, right?
Oh, they could have. I don't say you should do this. The Thunderbolts could have kicked him right in the nuts because he's all leaning back with his arms crossed.
Yeah.
And run away.
Read these rights. Read these nuts.
Read this.
And then run off.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Captain America would have scooped him up.
Well, they all could have run in different directions, too.
Yeah. Captain and Beast would have got him.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I thought about that they didn't know about the ending of the series, and I'm opening up this. I shouldn't probably do this with sweaty hands. Let me. Not that I care too much. Oh, Battlestar Galactica swag on the back page, everybody.
Yes, there is.
A lot of ads. Did you notice, JT? There are tons and tons of ads in the last several issues that I noticed. Or at one point, everybody, there was like 4 pages. 1 page, front, back. I think I mentioned it before. And we're at the end here. So
yes,
they introduce these characters who I have no idea who these people are. I'm not going to claim to, but they got off at the bus stop. Remember last issue? And we don't know if they're good guys or bad guys unless you know them. If anybody in the chat knows who these people are, we know that. What did he call himself? Wing guy or something from last issue?
I don't know.
This guy here.
Yeah, I don't
Wing
know.
Eagle.
Oh man. Yeah, Wing Eagle
or something. Like that.
I was joking because I was calling him Giant Eagle, like the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's
classic. It's classic 50s style stuff. It's no big deal.
Yes.
The problem with Jim Shooter and all you guys, I'm looking at you, editors and all. You introduce these people here, right? The second time. Now, who knows if the last issue they knew in between 14 and 15. I don't know. Remember, this is a bi-monthly. It used to be bi-monthly, remember? Every other month?
Yes.
So they had time to know. But when? We don't know. So they introduce us to Mr. Kevin Trueblood and Miss Monica Lynn on the last issue, and they don't put that in here, right? Let's see last issue about these 2 people. And she calls him Panther Devil. Certainly has some setup here because now they're at the Wakanda mission, which is Upper East Side. Remember? Fancy Nancy. That even the Avengers made a comment on how nice the place was. Remember that?
Yeah. I remember that part. Sure.
So a little context from her speech bubble is she's either jealous, an ex, right? Could be. I don't know.
Could be. We know nothing.
She seems
really.
like she doesn't. Either she's joking or she doesn't like him, T'Challa. She calls him Panther Devil.
Well, tough shit. That's all I got to say.
So, and if you're there, Matthew, here you go. You are so correct that they don't put the issue number in, like Matthew Pounder. Matthew Pounder, you did better than they did. Right?
Yes.
Because Matthew Pounder in the chat putting the damn issue number in there because he's smart and helpful. And so we get this guy here. Forgive me, I do not make myself clear. T'Challa knows nothing of your visit. This is the butler guy.
Yeah, why would the butler say that?
Well, he's the he works at the embassy. They call it a mission.
Still, how would he know? How would he know that T'Challa knows nothing of the visit? T'Challa has ESP.
We thought it was wisest.
Maybe he has a camera thing set up. Who knows?
And I just noticed something that I'm going to give them a compliment because it's an Easter egg, and I just saw it. If you look at this bottom left one, this little figure right here, you can see me circling it. I don't know can people see? They can't see my.
It's in the window. It's in the upper window of the bottom left panel. Yeah.
Thank you. See that little figure there? It looks like a bird. That's Wind Eagle. I just saw that. It just hit me. Look.
I thought you were going to point out the trees, the bush.
We got a tree. Yes.
I was like, some Easter egg, Dave.
No. They haven't given me a plant inside a building in 2 issues. Screw them.
Right.
You okay? So buddy says you can't. Okay, yeah, there it goes. Yeah, I thought you could. You think I would know this after doing this for like 6 months? But I was just curious. Yeah. So, yeah, buddy, and everybody, Matthew, everybody, that's Wind Eagle. Isn't that kind of cool that they put that in there, though? It's kind of funny, right? Trying to end this on a good note. That's it. You see what I'm getting at, right, JT?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying, dude. I'm trying my best here, man.
I know you are. I'm not helping. I'm not much of a co-host tonight. I'm not helping you.
Totally fine.
Unfortunately.
No, dude, you're one of the best here at dissecting these comics because 99.9% of the time you nail it. I can barely remember any of the ones that 0.01 that you didn't. I think it was like, I don't even remember. Who cares? But I thought it was kind of funny that I just saw. I said, wait a minute. That's freaking Wind Eagle flying through there. That's
Wind Eagle kind of looks a little fruity.
He's got some wind under his sails.
You can't even.
Yeah,
you can't even tell me I'm wrong. He looks a little light in the loafers. He just does.
But he looks so angry. He's so angry here. He's an angry kind of guy. And I just love that little thing they did there, dude. Sorry, man. So the door closes as none are aware of yet another visitor. At last, I have arrived. And JT, would you do the honor of reading the last speech bubble?
And now that I have found the Panther shall find death. To be continued in the pages of Marvel Premiere.
Now, is that insinuating that this issue is done?
Yes. That's kind of a shitty.
Matthew Pounder knew it. Everybody else knew it. Thank you, Jake. Keep going.
This is shitty because it doesn't say that this is the end of the run of the comic. It just says this story is going to be continued in the pages of the Marvel Premiere. So my next question is: so are we going to have 2 stories at once with Black Panther, or did you just cut it off at the knees? And that is that is just shitty to say it like that.
Yeah, and I'm going to show I'm going to show something here. Although I need to shave my head. It's bugging the shit out of me. And of course, I don't set up my stuff for nights like this. I just pop in and out. I know you guys have seen all the stuff I have anyway. And I got to put my glasses on because I'm old. But I'm going to show you this. My hands are so nasty. All right. That right there. That is them telling us in this issue. So how did they know to print it in this issue if they didn't already know? Right? So it
This page
says,
takes like a day.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
says
really.
the Black Panther as a magazine. You can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Ends with this issue, but his story will continue in the pages of Marvel Premiere, like Matthew said. Yes, the same book that introduced Marveldom, they're acting like they're all excited about it. Yes, the same book that introduced Marveldom Assembled, it's old school stuff, to such all-time favorites as Warlock and Iron Fist. So they're digging deep, right? Because this is 79. Yeah. The book that brought you the rebirth of Doctor Strange strip will be playing host to the Panther in just a few short months. So they knew. And in the Panther's very first headlining issue, we'll begin to clear up with the many mysteries surrounding T'Challa's previous American adventures. Duh. That's because now you're going to try to fulfill this stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
And now you just introduced 3 characters and cut the series off. And then you say Marvel Premiere, but don't even put the issue number. So yeah, you're right. They ended that kind of shitty. And then we'll be shifting into Overdrive to present the Prince of Wakanda. Is he a prince or a king? JT, anybody?
It depends on what page you're looking at. And yeah, buddy, there is a BSG ad on the back.
Yeah. And as you've never seen him before, okay. Of course, it goes without saying that the creative triumvirate of Hannigan, Bingham, and Day will be there too. And a lot of people like those are the people that did this one, JT, right? And so, and they're very popular.
Do you have up here? You want me to share out my screen? Because I've got something that is really going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, and I just wanted to show there's actual some Battlestar Galactica swag, dude. And sorry guys, I wasn't prepared. You remember the ads that we did?
Oh yeah, I have them here.
Yeah, the video, we did the 3-hour video, and then I did like a 2-minute one just to throw a small one in there for somebody who doesn't want to watch a 2-hour or 3-hour. Almost that went like 3 hours, didn't it? That was such a fun video we did, dude.
Oh, it was. It really was. Here, if
D-Bud.
I think Mark D with a C came in for a bit too.
Oh yeah,
maybe Maddie's daddy. I mean, it was some cool stuff. If you want to,
there's Micronauts and Battlestar Galactica. I wanted to show that.
Yeah, I could actually show that page too. On here,
so Shogun Warriors.
If you want to pass over the screen.
Yep, I'm gonna add you to stage right there.
Let's see. There is an Iron Man and Brains Over Brawn ad in Stark Industries, which is kind of funny. Advertising for Hostess apple and cherry pie.
Yeah, which are great, but not good for you, dude.
Oh, not at all. I'm trying to remember where the BSG.
Go back.
Yeah, these are a lot of the same.
That Daredevil one. Go back. Where was that?
Up here? Oh, down here.
Backwards?
Whatever backwards is forward. There.
The one that was right after. Yeah. Pull that Daredevil one. Look how cool that looks.
Yes.
Some of the artwork in these ads are great. Look at Thor. Right.
Well, this part is Bulletin where he talks about that.
Somebody was trashing. Somebody was
Thor with his hammer.
Somebody was trashing Kirby on this one, and they gave.
I was going to bring that up, Dave. I was going to bring that up.
I'm like, okay, you didn't have to put 3/4 of the page of it on
folks.
There. But anyway,
I don't know how readable it is. I'm going to try to make it just a little bit bigger here. Okay, I'm going to read this. I can read
that without my glasses.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort of.
Folks, I'm going to read this and hold your seething rage for the end here. I know Clobby would be like punching his laptop screen right now if he read this.
It's a little over the top.
Dear editor. So he means dear Stan Lee, right?
Well, that would be Jim Shooter.
Or Jim Shooter. Yeah.
Who editor was Kirby. before.
Oh, okay. Well,
He did the drawing, the writing, and the
after
editing.
after 12,
Yeah.
13. So this is to
And
Jim Shooter. Upon learning that Jack Kirby was leaving, I waited number 13 with great anxiety and, in fact, anticipation. In this case, 13 turned out to be a lucky number. The conclusion of the Kyber series was the best Black Panther issue to date. We did not like that one.
no,
Now
we did
this
not
is
like that one. That's so odd, that right?
yeah.
We didn't like 13
Now,
that much.
and here you go, the qualifier on the statement. Now, this may also be almost sacrilegious, but I'm glad that Mr. Kirby is gone from the mag.
Well, you answered your own statement there, didn't you, buddy?
As an inventor of concepts, I've always felt that Kirby was excellent. Okay. He's not up to the standard as a plotter.
I don't know. I don't know where they got that
This
from. As a plot.
this dude must be yeah, I don't know. The other comics actually had plots and were timed well, but the last three were vomit. But okay. But he's still better than average in this category. As for scripting and dialogue,
he had his problems with some of these. He had some problems that we pointed out, but you're talking overall. Come on, I don't know what this person's talking about, dude.
But okay, but to me, the worst part of Kirby's work is his art. The layouts are not impressive. I have no
idea.
His drawings are two-dimensional, and the characters do not look interesting or believable. In contrast, Hannigan's script brought the characters to life. With this issue, BP jumps from the nether regions to the middle ground. So keep working at it. The Mad Maple must be Stan Lee.
No address given. It's probably Hannigan in them.
I'm like, is this Stan Lee? Because nobody in their right mind is going to say that.
Oh,
no one in their right mind would say that.
No, he had some Kirby haters, man. There was some Kirby haters, dude. Just like somebody, I highlighted that in the chat.
Matthew Pounder, the Mad Maple. Yeah, well, if it's Stan Lee, I would expect he's regular letter writer or one of the other guys on the staff.
But to place that in the last issue and then nobody can respond to it, how disingenuous and shitty is that?
Yep.
That's a coward way out putting this one.
You're 100% right, Dave.
Putting this in the last issue. Right?
Yep.
And Buddy says Wind Eagle shows first appearance from Jungle Action 24. Dude, I've as I've mentioned before, I had it and I've told my number 5 horror story many, many times with the tape and the cover, but I don't remember Wind Eagle, but maybe that's why I was like, it's been so long since I actually had the Jungle Action series and read it, because I read it a long time ago and I had it for years. I don't, man, why I got rid of that. I don't know, just sold a lot of my stuff back in the day, before and then I met Nick Weiser and Comics Division and then wound up meeting Clobbering Times, right? Which everybody knows the story. But so there you go, buddy. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, I thought, I didn't think for our comic ad video, this whole run would have filled everything. Yes. All I had to do was pull these comics out and could have gotten them all.
Right.
And some more, except I don't remember Sea Monkey.
And I don't think they had a lot of Star Wars in this, did they?
Not a lot of the Star Wars stuff. So, but some of the really, really cool stuff that we did want was all in this run.
Yeah.
And Buddy Hepburn brought up the Shogun Warriors. I think it's either on Tubi or Roku. They have both. Yeah, I think Roku. They have ninja robots and Shogun Warriors. I can't keep them straight, dude. And then they show a bunch of old school stuff, dude. It's just too many commercials, and I can't. Right. And then they change the issue. They change the episode numbers. Like you'll watch 3 episodes of season 2, episode 22, 23, and 24, and then they'll switch to something like you might want to watch, like Metabots or City Hunter or Transformers season 1, episode 20, 28, 29. You know what I mean? And then they'll switch to another one. And then it's like, oh my God, I can't. How am I supposed to watch this? You just watch it for fun as background noise. Like I do when I told you I do Speed Racer like that all the time. I'll just put it on low on my TV while I'm doing other stuff. And I just love it.
Anyway, I don't think there's any other significant things in the ads for that.
No, so they're just fun
share there. Yeah.
Go watch our video.
Yeah, exactly.
3 hours of it. It's a good one though. It's got all the fun stuff in there.
Oh, for sure. So, would you like me to produce a review and a rating for this episode? Or
it's
this
totally
issue?
Up to you. I think I could probably guess close.
I think it's schlock crap, and I think they just wanted to make money off of some people for a little bit, so they could rewrite enough of the Black Panther to put him in the back seat in other comics that they had coming up in the future. And if they could screw Kirby out of this character, they would find a way to do it. I don't think this was an honest attempt at making a good story. However, the art wasn't bad. I'll give them to that. There was some cool spots for the art. So that's going to pull up the score a little bit, but I'm still going to give it a D+.
Yeah, I figured C- or something from you. Maybe a C
Well,
because some of the art.
You got damn close. You're starting to get to know my thought process.
Oh, I nailed it on the number 13. I told you I was going to get an F from the day one. And
if we could have just read the first 10 and stopped, I think that would have been the best way to go. Because I'd have been like, damn, this is an awesome comic book run.
Well, do your whole series. Yeah, segue right into it. Go ahead. Do your whole series.
Yeah, sure. So the first 10, I was like, hell yeah. Like, I was like, Dave, it's Wednesday. We're going to be doing this again. You know, outside of the week I was sick and crap like that, which felt bad. I couldn't do the show, you know, and that's a great place to always be as a co-host is like, you know, you don't make the big bucks doing this kind of thing. So you do it for fun. And the comic book made it fun. You know, obviously hanging out with you is fun and the chat's fun. But it's good to have, you know, you get tired of talking about things like Disney Star Wars or Snow White or
if I wanted
the failure of Amazon's Lord of the Rings.
I'd have
you want to talk about fun stuff. You know,
completely separate channel if I did that.
Yeah. And so it was a legitimate pleasure to come in and read those. And I don't know what some of these people were smoking, but I thought Kirby did a great job. You heard me say so many times, the pacing as well. Every frame has a purpose. You know, there were no wasted pages. Maybe there was a couple here and there across 10 issues. A bit, who cares? Big whoop at that point, right? So, you know, maybe T'Challa wasn't, you know, created and developed as much as you would like by the 10th issue. You know, maybe it was still a little bit too vague. I think it's good that they got rid of Mr. Little, but he did have his purpose. He definitely had his purpose. But as we get to the end point, it was almost like Kirby knew he wasn't going to be doing it anymore. And the last one that he did, really our score started to drop into average territory. And after that, I mean, they should have never released those other 3. They should have just
moved it on to Marvel Premiere 50 or 49 then, right there.
Right there. Just it would have been better for them to not try to even end the story. But if they had ended it at 13, it would have been better. Or 12. You know, one of those two, the end of Kirby on that, it would have been better just to end it on that and go on to Marvel Premiere. how they edited it was an insult to the fans, to the reader, to the customer, and to their own continuity and respect. I do not see someone wanting to hang their hat on having produced these 3 issues. At least, well, maybe the artists, right? But not the editors, not the story writer, not any type of dialogue out of this, right? I thought the ideas were beyond stupid. You didn't hear me nitpicking in those first 10.
Look,
Maybe I
when we
did.
nitpick,
I did
it's
some.
yeah, but a lot of that is
It
when
was
they
so
put it in
minor.
there. Like
It,
some of the speech boxes tonight were completely unnecessary. And
yep.
actually, we did find a continuity area, that continuity with Vision after you just said it, right? And it
Yep.
wasn't because you had read it before. We say a lot of the things. I forgot that I even read it, like the judo fighting, which we gave compliment and big art. That was good art.
Yeah.
But the whole bubble of Vision trying to pound his way through it when he just went through the rhino, okay, the bubble was stronger. Let's just say it was a stronger force, right?
Yes. Yes.
But that he just goes right up under it and then calls it a solid bubble after. Well, then he couldn't get it through it 2 seconds ago. How did he get through it now without even punching? That's the stuff that drives bonkers.
And so you'll look at the Kirby stuff. If you go back and listen to us, the nitpicky things that we were going after were so minor compared to
like the 6-figure man from The Princess Bride.
yeah. Compare that
was
to
obviously was just a little mistake. That's
compared
all that was.
to I'm sitting here going, they had the technology back then to do noise cancellation. Why don't you just get out some loudspeakers and run some like noise cancellation frequencies at him? If you have these stupid gloves, hook the gloves up into this other piano, steal that motorbike and steal the piano or something, and get some loudspeakers going, and you could totally shatter him to death or deaden his powers and then strap him down or do whatever you want, right? It was just all around. I don't want to go on for too much longer on that. It just made me really lose a lot of respect for
Marvel.
Some of the for Marvel, for Stan Lee. Not that I didn't have problems already, but people don't know this backstage. I was talking to Dave. I'm like, can we go to DC for a bit? Because I don't know if I can handle more Marvel at this point. It just irritated me. So overall,
JT, you liked
overall, I did. Overall, I did
10, 11, and squeaking in 12.
If we had just read the first 10, it would have been an A.
Yeah,
and an easy recommend. Unfortunately, because I don't even think I can give it a score, because I'm like, I don't think people should read the whole thing. And how can you recommend a run and tell people just stop after this issue? So I'm in a really hard place because I don't want to give it a C-, because then that gives a bad impression that the Kirby stuff is no good. And I can't do that. So unfortunately, I'm not going to give this thing a full season rating, or a full run rating, because it's not a full run. It's 2 different runs in one. But if you want me to split it in 2, A and F, there you go, A and F.
Yeah, I would say that what you said was pretty poignant. The problem with it is timing. If we knew when they knew, I mean, we obviously know they knew before the last issue. That's obvious. And maybe even before 14.
Oh, sure.
We knew that. Well, they already got rid of Kirby. We don't know why, but it happened. I lost my train of thought there. Okay, so if you wanted to drop after 10, you'd at least run it through the end of Kirby and then immediately drop it.
Yep.
And then immediately drop it then. So 10 maybe too early, don't know, but it's a good idea when it's still on top of your A game. Because it's still on top of your A game there. We very rarely had any problems with continuity, artwork, because everybody's different. I mean, I know more artists in my head than I can tell you, remember. going back to Neil Adams. I mean, good God. I mean, there's so many. I can't even name them all. I don't even remember. I can't do like Nick and them, just list off 50 artists. But if you tell me, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just I'm not good with some of those things. Some days I am, some days I'm not. Nothing's wrong with me. I just don't think about those type of things too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was a lot of old school artists back then around with Kirby who are fantastic. Even Matthew says Ed Harrigan's art here is great. If you want to talk about hands, they do great hands, really good hands.
Yes.
I don't know. I tell you, when we first saw them and they had the hands right up close, I was like, damn, those are some good hands.
Right.
But their background art, absolute pure laziness. They just didn't want to draw anything. I'll just color it yellow. The whole skyline, pink, lime green.
Yeah.
Just don't even want to do it. But Kirby had the time to do it. So it's like, draw some lines in there and draw a plant, draw a tree. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have the time or just didn't have the inclination. Don't know. Critical Drinker would say, right?
Yeah.
No. But what the downfall started with me on a hard cap. Is that how you say it? Is that the right way to do it?
No.
I don't know what the hell I'm
you
saying.
say no cap. Like, are you serious? No joke kind of thing?
Yeah. The part where they came out when they had this whole big ESP thing, telepathy and all this stuff that T'Challa could do all of this stuff now, right? He already had good radar sense, cat vision.
He can smell from the 98th story.
Yeah.
Of a building.
Wind. Yeah. And he could tell when people snuck up on him, except like one time, but that was like they got the drop on him in a fight or something, no big deal. And then all of that was super powered because he literally got into a fight with a vibranium monster on a mound of vibranium. And it didn't do anything else to him, but made him stronger and telepathic almost.
Yeah, this sounds like something everybody should be trying out, for themselves.
Right. So when the downfall for this, for me, clearly came, at least the most I can remember, to two spots. That and I mentioned it tonight, when they reversed their continuity on the fact that he could not talk to people from a distance. That's absolute BS, because he did it with Kanata through a rock from miles and miles from an island out in the middle of the ocean all the way back to freaking Wakanda. Yep. And they just didn't even care about stuff like that. It is like you said, and I said, did those guys even bother to read those 13 issues or 12, 11 issues?
No.
So when you have continuity like that and they blatantly say, well, he can't do that. And we're like, everybody was like, yes, he can. Right?
How long would it take you to read those? Like a day?
You could do 10 issues in a day, 5 issues one day, 2 or 3 issues the next day.
Yeah.
Spread 2 or 3 issues out in a matter of a week.
Yeah.
And then the one where we both said that when he was crawling through the vent and he could use the vent grate as a weapon, because he wrapped one of them around one of the sound henchmen.
You can get through a mountain, but they can't get through a HVAC grate on an HVAC system that's like
just the grate, though.
Yeah, just the grate.
So that was just bad. But he crawls through the grate after he leaves Kanata and all those poor people to fend for themselves.
Yep.
To go
he marks his territory.
To go mark his territory on a mountain and say, this is for Wakanda, and it's nothing but a damn rock out in the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
So now you remember how mad I was about that, because he would not, and you brought it up, he would not.
Well, you know what they
them
say,
into
Dave.
a fight.
Empires are made with blood.
Ugh. Yeah. This is like when they disingenuized Starbuck.
Yeah.
That's what was good, that they stuck to his lore for the most part, right? For the most part. Through that whole series. Not 1980, the original series. Comic book run. I was like, I read this, I know what they do, but there's stuff that we miss. There's stuff that you don't see. Because I almost want to think I love reviewing comics, but I think I need to review stuff from now on that I haven't read or like.
Sure.
Because I don't want to go back and see stuff that I don't like about stuff that I do like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I love this overall series for everybody. Yes, I'll just say it. I've loved it. I liked it. But I'm beginning to think that some of that, JT, you're absolutely correct. I hated it. The stuff that especially those two things that I just said, because it goes beyond the realm of freaking common sense, even for a kid. Although I've only been 10, but if you're a young teenager, these comic books can transcend the way you think about good versus evil. It can help you in your career path. It can motivate you. Battlestar Galactica, shit, I wanted to be an astronaut. You know why? Not because I just say that shit. I want to be a fireman and an astronaut and a police officer and a firefighter jet pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
When you read some of this, there's kids out there that says, I want to be a freaking scientist. And they go out and do it. And or at least some leads a good path, right? Hopefully away from bad stuff, evil.
Right.
Right. I don't remember saying I want to grow up to be like the Claw and be an asshole. I didn't remember thinking like that. I remember I always wanted to do good things. Life changes you, but who cares about that? We're talking about comic books when you're a kid.
Yeah. So what would you give this issue, and what would you give the run? Wanting to see.
I'll be very transparent. Before I reviewed it, an A. But
this
I
issue
no, the whole run, the whole series. This issue, man, I want to give it. I almost want to give it. I know you're not going to like this. It's a stretch at a B-, but I'm going to go C+. Okay. Because that continuity crap, I just can't take it. even though we had a lot of fun with this one. The artwork was good. I agree with you. I agree with Buddy. It doesn't have any reflection on Kirby's artwork because they are their own people. We just talked about that. Everybody's different. You look at Neil Adams. You look at, oh my God, I got like 5 guys I want to say right now, and I can't think of any of them. Jim Steranko.
5 guys?
Jim Steranko. I used to love 5 guys, but it gives you the craps. I don't know what happened to their quality. They have gone down. You know what they did? They're just like this issue. Before was an A. Now C+, dude. They killed it at the end. 5 guys. If it wasn't for the fact that I sometimes say I don't want to eat cheeseburgers every day, I would eat 5 guys every day if I knew I could get away with it. I'm almost bad enough now.
Yeah, 5 guys fart surprise.
Not 5 guys.
What I call it.
They have
5 guys fart surprise.
And yeah, here you go. Returning him to factory setting was so lazy.
Yes.
If they would have ended it at 13, we could have got away with saying still an A. We'll just drop 13. We'll just say, but we would have known that he was leaving. There was problems, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what Marvel did they? Now, to be fair, we don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Maybe Clobberin could have known, or Mark could have shed some light on it. But you and I think the chat, the switchover could have been so much better if they could have just been more diplomatic about it. Let us know what's going on and say, hey, I mean, they did do that. Well, we switched over, but if it's in the letters, we already know because we're seeing that it's already changed, right?
Right.
Because you can't write the letter to them, even though this is it was a bi-monthly comic. There was more time for them to let us know, wasn't there?
Yes. Oh, of course.
It wasn't a monthly issue where time constraints were really bad. So overall issue, I would have said A, but then again, what did I go to? C+?
Yeah.
Only because of those. I know a couple of things there, but God dang, that was so bad. They ruined it. And I don't like how they did that by publishing the last bad thing about Kirby because he wasn't there anymore. That's a low blow. It's a shit move. And just because he's not there anymore doesn't mean you get to publish bad stuff about him.
Right.
And good stuff about the stuff you're doing and then cancel the damn series anyway. So why don't you just put positive? We're thinking positive. I know it sounds, I'm getting shitty, but I'm thinking positive. Why don't you just end it all on a positive note? Throw a positive thing about Kirby and a positive thing about the new people, and then say, hey, we're moving on.
Buddy, it 100% looks like a planted letter.
Absolutely. Who said that guy is? No, somebody already called it out, JT.
No, I said I suspect
somebody
it was
in the
Stan
chat.
Lee. Oh,
you called it out. Somebody in the chat, you called it, you said, you read off that somebody in the chat here it is, that Matthew Pounder thinks
regular
it is
letter
a regular
writer.
letter writer.
Yep.
I'm just thinking it's low class, and I'm not talking about the whole run. I'm talking about Marvel.
It's low class to put it in.
It's low class to put it in. It's a dirty, cheap shot, whether you like the guy or not. You put that shit in there, and he's already been gone for a couple issues. That's crap.
Yep.
Somebody used to say that. Crap. And I just had to get it out because the series is done, and this is why we're here. Now we're talking.
Well, they
about
did
Marvel.
him dirty. They did Kirby dirty.
They did him dirty, and it's bullshit. It's a low blow when somebody's already down. They're not. Why
would you put in a letter talking about anything bad about
negative
Kirby?
About anybody? JT,
right?
That's my overall point.
Like you were so right on that. If you were, like say you had someone like the Saska sisters or Chuck Dixon or somebody writing for Eric July, and then you switched it, and then you switched it to somebody else, would you just throw them to the EVS crowd in the comics people over there? Yeah, I mean that's the level, the caliber of people that would do that kind of thing. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. It's
not right, dude. It's not right because
from a business perspective, it looks awful.
Go said. Sorry, you said business perspective. Sorry.
No, from a business perspective, it just looks awful. Like, who would want to write for Stan Lee and Marvel anymore? Because you're going to read that and say, oh, as soon as they dump me off a project, they're going to talk shit about me like that.
Yeah, and whether you like the guy or not has nothing to do with class. We're talking about having some class here, and I don't have a lot of it anymore, but I can pick it out. Like you and I are dealing with somebody and somebody else, namely one person. And I'm not going to, people know they don't bring it up here, and I love everybody for it. You notice that, right? That's because we have high class caliber people that watch us, dude. And they don't want to be involved in any of this. We are just talking about comics, Marvel, and all that other stuff.
Yep.
We know the difference between personal and not personal, and they made it personal here. With that. To me, it seemed like that.
Oh yeah.
And we don't.
It's like if you're in a band, right? And somebody quits your band for whatever reason, and then you going on tour and talking to Rolling Stone about how much of a shitbag this guy that you made 4 albums with was.
But they didn't do anything shitty when they left.
Right.
That's the difference. Now, if they had done something that you and I have been dealing with for several months, I'm not something else. That's different, is it not?
It is.
When you can show receipts on what, show me what Kirby did that was so bad that justifies you shitting on him when he's not even there anymore.
They can't.
What did he do? Did he say something bad about Stan Lee back then? I don't know. I wish we had people here.
Even if he did, you still shouldn't do this, because especially back then, not everyone's going to know about it, right?
No. There's no internet.
You don't look better having that said. I don't care if you're trying to get even or if you're even in the right in some disagreement. You doing that does not make you look better.
No, it does not. So with that, let's move on
Yeah,
to something
with
more
all of that.
fun.
You didn't give us your entire run rating.
Oh, I said, well, before I was going to try to give it an A totally, but I like your division theory.
Mm-hmm.
It made me think a lot that I'm going to have to go and only I said C plus, or was that just the issue?
That was for just the issue. I thought.
Then I'm going B minus because I can't give it an A with what toward the end, except for that art. I like the art, man. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of people here like that art. It's just because it's not Kirby doesn't mean it wasn't good.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I didn't have any hate for the art this week. It was better than last week.
Their direction was
it did
trash.
improve.
Yeah, the story was way crazy. It was chaotic. Anyway, it was chaotic. So the whole run, B something, B minus, B plus.
Okay.
Just because, although I wanted to, I can't give it a C. That's too harsh overall. But boy, they really tried at the end, didn't they?
Yep.
Even though the art was great and some of it was funny. I pointed it out. Some of those classic, you're not going to get away with it when the Avengers are here.
Yeah.
That's great stuff, dude. Right?
Yes.
Didn't make up for a lot of the other stuff. But so for everybody still here and listening and watching, we are going to try and go on a DC run for a while because we've done Marvel for months and months.
Yep.
Going to last year, didn't I? How far back?
1980 was IDW technically, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't Marvel, but I go with
that was a short
continuation.
That was a short trip.
Short. I don't really care. We've done the main ones are Marvel. Yeah, there was just 4 issues.
Yeah.
Actually quite popular though. I got a lot of views on that. Thank you, everyone. So you and I have discussed that we're going to at least do DC and maybe if something crazy pops up in our head, an indie comics like an IDW or something else. If we can't decide by next week, I think what you and I might do is have a live show. That was Gap, who he wanted to come on and talk, but I don't know what subjects are.
Well, I think he wanted to hang out. I mean, I guess talking is incidental to that.
I thought he wanted
right?
to come on the show and hang out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying he wanted to talk, but it's more to hang out.
He does some shorts and he has a channel.
Time.
He has a channel. So I'm thinking, and let's get your thoughts live on air, and then we'll talk more deeply about it later backstage. Obscure characters, maybe even going way back, because what I would have to do, I know you have the website. I'm not fond of that website, but you know how to use it.
Yes.
And I was thinking about just forking out the dough for DC Universe. But I don't know how well it translates over to sharing screen. So here's the problem. I can buy a whole year way cheaper than a monthly one. But if I buy the monthly one and it's crap, I can dump it. Right?
True.
So what I was thinking is maybe do the one.
You can always hold off, right? You can always hold off. It's not like the price is going to change on you real soon, right?
They've got a pretty good sale for the whole year, and if we're going to stick to the DC thing, it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah,
because then we can pick whatever we want, and that's the thing. I'm looking at even Golden Age, something funny like Plastic Man, short runs. These are all short runs, 10 issues, 12 issues, 8 issue stuff. The Spectre, I find, is an interesting character. A lot of history to that one. The Dead Man, very interesting character who a lot of people know of, and also especially through the Brave and the Bold animation, Batman Brave and the Bold animation series, which is fantastic. I wish we could just play that and talk about that. That's great. Cartoon series, dude, because it has so many different characters with the Batman. And I love how they do that little intro cartoon. So you get 2 cartoons in one, a little quickie there at the beginning. and that theme, dun, 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 it's great.
Yep. And
So,
I had talked about also trying to recall something that Clobby liked on the DC side and read one of those. That was another thought that I had. It may not be possible depending on how things line up. Is a lot of things that people like are 75 issue runs, and we're not going to do that for a year and a half.
We can't do Superman Presents. It's like 90 some. Although if I could do old school Batman Brave and the Bold, we don't have to do 50 issues. You could just do, like, if we wanted to do something crazy outside, like let's say we wanted to do a Batman Brave and the Bold watch party, you just do season 1 and you do 2 episodes every week.
Mm-hmm.
Just something
and Matthew that's Connor says Clobby loved Bob Haney stuff.
There you go. He liked Neil Adams. He liked a lot of people, and he loves Superman. I mean, good God, there's a billion things we could do with Superman. I would want to do his presents, right? Yeah. Which brings in other characters. You introduce Superman. Yeah, it's like the Brave and the Bold is different from the cartoon. What I was thinking was I would want to do the comic series, and if we didn't do the comic series, we would do the cartoon series. But you don't have to do 3 seasons of it. You just do 1 season and say, go watch the rest.
Right.
If we did the original run of Brave and the Bold, buddy, I would say we could do 20. That's 20 weeks. Right?
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot. But we did BSG. That was 23, but we started off with 2 for a couple of weeks, which helped.
It depends how long they are.
We're doing 3 hours right now. You got to get out of here, dude. You got to go to work.
I did. Well, not in the next 10 minutes, but yes, I know.
Yeah. So that was thinking cartoon, but comic based for Wednesday nights. Mm-hmm. Although the problem, as everybody knows, is where we're at now. You'd have to stop a frame, talk about it, stop a frame, talk about it. You can't. You'd have to do a Cosme and then talk about them, or do a setup on the Cosme where you and I could talk about while it's going, but that distracts from people trying to listen to it.
Yes,
right?
It does.
Like on my Spawn, which was great, by the way. Oh my God, I love that show. I was so happy I did that and didn't get nuked for it. One of the biggest thing is to try to not talk too much while people are watching it.
Yeah, but that's not always the most fun thing.
Well, you do it every now and then. I would break out. Oh my God, holy cow, you ripped that freaking dude's head off. You know what I mean? Or I would like, look out, here he comes, do stuff like that, but not every second, not every frame. You got to let it play out for people.
You can't EFAP the whole thing. You never get done.
No. If we were to do that, we could do the cartoon Brave and the Bold and the comic, and then do like we're doing now. So I think.
Well, then I was like, well, what about Star Trek, the Gold Key? And that was like way too many issues as well. And I don't know which ones are like the best ones and which ones you can just skip.
Yeah.
And if that's even appropriate to skip anything. So then it's like, okay, what do you really pick? Because sometimes the shorter stuff is not very good and it's short for a reason. You don't want to be doing that too, right?
Well, yeah. The problem is, if we did like a 10 series, let's say, and I won't say it's bad because I don't know, Spectre, because there's different versions. There's the original, there's another one, then the classic, maybe even Golden Age, Silver Age. Then there's Bronze, I'm pretty sure. And then the new stuff, which we will not be doing, right? Because why? Why would I do that when there's several different versions of Spectre? We could do 3 different runs in a row. You know what I mean? And progress.
It was something like Superman. You could just do the first issue of every run and still go for 20 weeks
into the next year.
It just compare them all and be like, yeah,
I would say there's more than 52 #1 issues of Superman.
Yeah, I know,
there.
right? So there's just so much out there you could do. It's hard to narrow it down and
or even
have a focus. So
something fun like it wouldn't be DC, but we could always interject later on for doing a He-Man, the one of that 3-issue He-Man one, and show up. That's fun. I'm looking for fun and obscure. We could always do Superman and Batman. If something sucks, dude, we just stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, Dave, this is terrible. Everybody in the chat, what do you think? Yeah, let's move on to something else, Dave.
I think an army comic would be kind of cool to do.
There's Sergeant Rock, dude.
Yeah.
But DC has so many old school shit that I would like to even do almost like 2 nights, like the creepy stuff. Don't people like those old? Hey, everybody out there, buddy, do you like those House of Shadows? And now I might be crossing over DC, Marvel, and different people, but I know DC did a lot of those weird mysteries, House of Shadows type. You know what I mean, JT?
Yep.
And you don't have to do the whole run. Yeah, I agree. We got to go. You see what I mean? We don't have to do 50 of them. You do 25 and say, or 10 and say, hey, everybody, this is great. Do we keep doing the 15? The chat says, let's go to 15. Then we go to 15. And then it's like, time to move on. Then we'll move on to something else. But I would love to show some of those old school stuff, even if it's only like 3 or 4 weeks of like House of Shadows. You know what I mean?
Right.
But let's get you out of here.
Sure.
And
we've been going for 3 hours anyway. So
Doug Mensch, there's another guy. Matthew Doug Mensch do Tomb of Dracula see, JT, I would love to do this kind of stuff here too. I might have to have a separate night. I don't know. Let me show you my camera. Werewolf by Night.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
This is classic stuff.
Nice cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's Marvel. Oh, dude, yeah. And there goes Buddy, DC House of Mystery. So you see what I'm getting at, right, JT?
Yep.
Stuff that might get people interested in, and if it sucks, we just drop it and move on. Nobody said we have to be stuck with 99 issues just because we said we're gonna do it. Marv Wolfman was Tomb of Dracula. Thank you, Matthew. But see, the chat knows the hell they're talking about better than we do, and I love it. Our chat rocks, dude. Every freaking week. So let's get everybody out of here to move on to other stuff in their lives.
Sure.
All right, Matthew Pounder, Buddy, JT Kirk, thank you for being here. In case I forget to thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
FKC 2005. Lady V popped in earlier. Gap After Dark popped in, I believe. I don't know if Dadman popped in, but hell to Dadman, and Mrs. Dadman got some closure today, and I'm not going to say what it is. It's not my
I know
thing,
what you mean.
but I'm
and
glad to have seen it.
Triggerfish.
Bellow Triggerfish. Thank you, JT. That was awesome. And I'm going to the front there. I think that covers it. And as always, if I forgot you because you popped in and out, I'm very, very sorry. But I appreciate you. And I love my peeps, dude. No cap. Is that how you say it now? Is that the right thing?
Yeah. You got
I got it right.
You got it. You're learning.
I'm learning. I got to get back to the streets. Anyhow, real quick, let's see, because people give us so much good information. House of Mystery is an anthology series, so you can do random issues. Okay, so they're one-offs pretty much each time, right? They don't have continuing characters. I didn't think of that. Dude, Buddy, you're so correct. So JT, we could do 2 issues and move on. And then if everybody says, bring that shit back, man, we do a couple more.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can do fun shit like Plastic Man. I'm talking Golden Age. That's how far back that dude goes, I think. At least bronze. So be good. Gold and silver, right? At least gold and silver. Definitely silver. He's the kind of a character, Booster Gold. Maybe we can get Nick on for a couple. I know he's going to want to come on for a couple of those if we do Booster Gold. So we're not set on doing 1,000 issues. But thanks again, everybody. And JT, real quick, what do you got going on the rest of the week?
Sure. So let's see. Friday, hoping to get back to some late night Fortnite with Mark D with a C. Then Saturday, we will be doing another episode, one of my favorites, for Star Trek Enterprise Season 2 on the Great Admiral Teague's channel. So that's what I've got coming up the next few days. And
Very
of course, I'll probably be seeing you around at a bunch of those. So
hopefully so. Late night Fortnite's always a hit or miss. And but tomorrow night for me, I've got doing the Blues Brothers 9:00 watch party. So you have to link that Cosme, and just join the fun. Just watch the movie. That's about it, because it's a great one, dude. I gotta let Mark C know I'm doing that one. He might skip his SOT. I don't know. He does see at these on Thursdays, right?
Oh yes, he does.
Yeah, he might skip it for this one. We'll see. But who knows? And then Friday night, Fortnite. Saturday, usually just pop in to say hello to you guys. Try to anyway. And then Sunday night, Mark D with a C, his great show Geekery, which I know you have a hard time trying to get to.
Right.
Family and work and stuff like that.
Right.
And other than that, that's it. So we will try to make a decision by when, JT. When are you going to put us under the wire?
Oh gosh, I would put us under no restriction. We can do whatever we want. We decide precisely when we mean to.
By at least Monday morning. Monday night.
Sure, Monday night. Monday night.
Hey, you know what? Monday, Tuesday night, the latest, so I can do a thumbnail and throw it out on X.
Yeah.
So, our options are unlimited at this point. All right, guys, ladies, gents, and see you on the flip side. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night.
Wow.